Alright. Testing. First talking of the day. Bleh. Bleh. Hello, good morning, hello, hi. Let's see what's up. How's everybody doing today? Alright. So, been a while. Kinda don't remember what I was doing last, so let's check it out. It's Q to place towers. That's not very obvious. I should probably write that on the screen somewhere. What just happened? Alright, that's kind of awesome. Nice little bug I just noticed. Bullets can bounce off of other towers. That's super cool. Alright, that's something that we should probably fix. 2 bugs, 2 issues already experienced. Okay, so maybe I should take a peek at the input controller here. Close a bunch of stuff. Much going on. Alright. Actually, frozen. Oh. Or Unity. Can't quite remember how I did. Or a UI that shows up on the screen. Let me check something out. Try this again. So if I go to edit input settings, put name build. Okay. I mean, I guess it's not super duper obvious. So I guess I still don't like it, but I want to know. I remember where I put this code right here. Hey, what's up, Romedy? How you doing, man? Or excuse me, Cobbedy. Cobbedy. It sounds like I have a stuffy nose when I say. How are you today? Here. What? Alright, I guess what I'll have to do is do a search. Let's do Control Shift F and then mobile. I remember seeing the word mobile there. Okay. This is coming from spawn at cursor. Play on mobile, open a spawn cursor. Table touch mode. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Yes. Input controller. Tower spawn. Here we go. Spawn at cursor. Input name is build. Okay, so this is probably where I should just peek. Alright, man. Well, cool. Good on you. What's good? I don't know. I guess I've kind of missed hanging out with people. Just finished my first week back from vacation. Work is a little hectic. Normal stuff, I guess. But yeah. What's good? I watched Disenchantment Part 3 last night. Just came out. It was interesting. There's still, I don't know if you've watched that show at all, but it's like every season or whatever. They're calling them parts. Every season though, it's like there's like little secrets and mysteries, and they're just not answering any of those questions still. Which is kind of driving me nuts. I realize my lighting's kind of terrible. This will be somewhat better. I know everyone's talking about like WandaVision came out yesterday. I still don't have Disney Plus. I'm holding out. Do this. Let's say to place a tower Play mobile, open spawn cursor menu, then enable touch mode. To play on PC, press, and then I'd have to talk to the input controller. I don't know if I have a way to do this currently. Get access, float, cool. Okay, I need to add a little function here to let me just kind of grab information from an axis. So I will public static axis get axis string axis name for pulling information about an axis such as its key bindings. So this will... Hey, what's up, Dylan? How you doing? Happy Saturday. What's new? I'm doing a terrible big O of N search through my axes instead of just using a hash table. I'm just too lazy to convert it over. What's up, DJ? God, I sound awful. I'm like I'm dying. Excuse me. I can't remember my hotkey for muting. Got it. Okay. I am doing alright. I'm doing alright. I can't complain too loudly. Axis. Get axis. What would I call this if it wasn't get axis? Because I already have get axis up here. Maybe this stays get axis and this becomes get axis value. Right? Get axis info, maybe. I don't know. This feels like it actually should be called get axis, and this one up here should not. Called get axis input, maybe? Yeah, let's maybe even change it. I'll just rename it. Get current axis input value. We're going long names here. Long names. What's new with you, DJ? How is the new year treating you so far? You still don't seem happy. Accessibility, right? Okay. Need to make this public. I also should start commenting this file. Again, lazy. Worry about. So I'm just gonna hide everything that's annoying. Yeah, Disenchantment. That's the Netflix one from Matt Groening. Cool, yeah, I remember you talking about changing schools. I'm hoping it's a better experience for you. Okay, now I should just be, yeah, returning a value. Okay, so if axis dot name equals axis name, return axis, else we will return null. Oh, nice. Programming class, that sounds cool. Obviously, I'm gonna say something along those lines. Yeah, I'm curious what kind is. Everything else here is okay. It is a class. Okay. Cool. So then we're gonna say. Sorry. Private axis, private input, controller dot. Oh yeah, that's right. Summer for you guys. So this is like a summer class, probably shorter than usual, right? Like a whole class. You'd normally during the main school year. Input axis reference equals null. And then on table. My cat is making some weird noises in the window. He's probably he or she probably sees a bird out there. Input controller dot get axis. Call it input name. Sounds like a thing I would do. Yes. Cool. Say axis input axis dot and name. No, not name. Positive key name. To place our under cursor. Yeah. And basically, the word programming can be used a little too loosely sometimes in my, especially when it comes to like classes and stuff. You know, sometimes they'll show you how to copy and paste code as opposed to how to actually understand it. I hope it's nothing like that. Bet you already know a little bit too. I feel like everyone kind of picks them up here and there these days. Okay, so then that was that first bug, and then the second one is this issue where towers can like bounce bullets off of each other. Yeah, right, Dylan. That's the next layer of it. If they are in fact teaching you, there's a difference, I think, between like writing code and programming. But it's getting a little bit probably too philosophical. But anyways, definitely a bug here where they can bounce bullets off of each other because they don't have any code that tells them to destroy themselves unless they hit an enemy. Yeah. So I just need to add something to projectiles. So right now it just says if I hit something tagged as target, then I destroy myself, but I should pretty much always destroy myself. Unless, I guess we could add a little boolean here. Serialize field. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Cool. Bounce, I guess. Bounce. What would I say? Bounce on towers and walls? Yes. So I'll just put a little extra check here that says if not bounce on towers and walls, then you would destroy anyway. So I'll say else if not bounce on the tower, you're not allowed to bounce, then destroy. So I'll leave destroy here, and then I'll also return here. Yeah, I think I remember you sharing that one. Sounds familiar. Like a workaround, basically, right? As opposed to actually fixing the problem, or sort of like, you know, understanding the problem and directly addressing it. Allows you to, or allows projectiles to bounce off of non-target objects. You have a good day too, DJ. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate you coming by. Very nice. Alright, so that should alleviate that problem a little bit. Okay. So in long term, this game is gonna become multiplayer, and you're gonna not only be building towers to defend against the enemies, but also sending enemies to your opponents, kind of like a round robin sort of thing. That's the design anyway, but I'm also using it as a chance to kind of dig in on like the debug features and stuff that I want to play with. So I'm playing with two different levels of thinking. Balloons? Balloons are alright. I don't know, I guess I don't love balloons. For me, it's defense grid. That's my favorite. Gotcha. Fair enough. Okay, sorry. So I need to keep my train of thought here. Alright. One thing that I think I did really cheaply was the shot prediction. Is that the right term for it? Hack. So right now I am getting the distance goal. Oh, right, okay. This is just sort of setting up the algorithm. And then finding every object with the tag, which I should certainly almost certainly be maintaining in a list as opposed to re-getting every time, of course. I didn't really, to be honest. Kind of just wanted to see where this went. Having potential target, and then we're getting the path to the target, getting the distance of that path. We're comparing that to the target range, right? And then we're getting the path from the target to the goal. Right, and this is just basically fine. Okay, so I should comment this. Determine if target is within range. And then here we say find the target that is closest to the goal trigger to prioritize them. No, current target is closest transform. Right, okay. And then for shooting, we check how fast our projectile is. We check the distance to the target. We get their position. Another hack. We grab the navmesh agent off of the target. We figure out how fast they're going. We figure out what their position will be by taking their position, adding target velocity times distance to target times target lead factor divided by projectile speed. This part right here is the hack part, because this whole chunk right here is a hack, and it's really just this part in particular. Like, this is not a well-researched or you know, like planned out formula. It's just the speed that they're going and the distance of the target and the lead factor are going to increase the amount of lead we need to give them, while the speed of the projectile will decrease the amount of lead. So I think the hacky part is just like this right here is just a float value that I tune up and down until I feel like it feels good. What's up, Vin? Lucent, how you doing, man? Thanks for the barks. How's life? How's the new year treating you? Yeah, I know I'm not far, like, super far off on how it works, and really my solution ultimately was just to make projectiles go really fast. If we do have slow-moving projectiles, I think we'll either have to lead, or, like, not lead, but add a homing effect to them, or just, like, the lead factor will have to be tweaked until it feels just right, you know? That's the part I think that's kind of hacky about it. Nice, nice. Yeah, I had a chill vacation, sort of unplugged from everything, and now I'm back at work, and it feels good to have, like, slowed down for a while, so I can kind of get back into things. Lots to do for the new semester. Yeah, totally. 3-week vacation. It's the longest one I've ever taken. If you don't count, like, being laid off. But I think even when I got laid off, like, I would just go to find another job right away, you know? Okay. Particles for projectiles or game objects for... That's interesting. For particles, I've never really tried that. Yeah, raycast certainly for something like an FPS where you want almost instant travel, or, you know, actually instant travel. Yes, that would be my solution for that. I use game objects only when you want to see the bullet and you want to have some time elapse during the bullet travel. But even then, you're often using a raycast to prevent the whole, like, bullet through paper problem. Sorry, I'm like covering my mouth. So you're usually, like, even when you're using a game object, you're often pairing that with a raycast. But I think Unity might have finally kind of addressed that. I feel like their rigid body collision checking has improved, because I think I had that issue, and then I was able to fix it just by changing collision detection here. I mean, I guess ultimately raycast is going to be cheapest, right? You're just doing a single check over a single frame instead of like introducing a new physics object to the world and all that stuff. I don't know, particle, it might be an interesting thing to try, but I think, like, I guess I've never played with particles enough, and the precision on it I'm not sure about. Okay, so I think what I want to do, just because it's been bothering me kind of a lot, is I think that I want to sort of change how I do debug updates, or debug drawing and stuff like that. Yeah, the designer side, yeah. Game objects would definitely be easiest in that case, I think. Not sure. Yeah, like, I feel like particles have too many little things that you can mess with. Kind of get the wrong results. Yeah, I kind of want to be able to build stuff and then have it just jump into existence in the debug side, if that makes sense. That would be my ideal case, because I'm spending a lot of time here just kind of like copying and pasting a bunch of this junk, which I don't love. So let me debug GUI utility. This is probably the place to start. Oh, float slider. Oh, right, I was already kind of trying to do this, which is great. I forgot that I did this. That's not the thing I thought I was gonna be opening anyway. Right? GUI controller is probably what I was thinking of. Okay. Public interface GUI drawable. I think what I want to do here is instead make this a actual class, and it's gonna have to be a mono behavior. Then drawable.drawGUI, right? Okay. I'm trying to think. Okay, so let's look at an example of something that uses it. So we're pretty much always doing like this sort of thing where we want to start out with a toggle. So I think I do want to actually have a what's the word? Public bool draw GUI. I want to actually implement this function in the base class. Because I haven't returned anything. So we're gonna always have a protected. Need to be protected. I guess it could be private. Private bool show panel equals false, and we're gonna basically say show panel GUI layout. Dot toggle. Show panel. I guess there's gonna be like serialized variables for, oops, it just then. Going on here? Okay. I wanted to, yeah, okay, sorry, like talking to myself. Okay, serialize field, protected, string, panel name, I guess. Panel name. If show panel. But then we're gonna probably pull, or not pull, or call some different functions. So maybe this won't be draw GUI. Maybe this will be draw panel, I guess. Then we'll have another. This one will be virtual and abstract. No, abstract is the actual word. No, yes, abstract. Abstract bool draw GUI. Ooh, congratulations! That's awesome. Very cool. It's great, man. Exciting. You guys been together a while, right? So that's pretty cool. Okay, so why are you not happy? Virtual abstract cannot be private. Right. Forgetting how to write this stuff. Hey man, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's great. Congratulations, that's really awesome. Yeah. Oh, we got your card, by the way. Thank you. It was pretty cool. It was pretty awesome. Looked nice. Alright, so this is where we're called draw GUI. Yeah, it took a little while. Like, I don't think I got it till almost New Year's, but like, who cares, right? It was pretty cool. Looked very nice. So then I'll just return draw GUI. And I forget what I'm actually using the return value for. I think it's like if drawable.drawGUI. So if it's true, then we're gonna kill the rest of our drawing. I don't really remember why I did this. So I should probably have written a note as to why to do. Why did we do this again? I mean, I guess it's not something that's ever gonna be a problem. Like, I don't foresee it being a problem, but I don't remember why I did this. So return false. Seems like a thing. Okay, so then if we do that, then everyone who uses GUI drawable is gonna have a different set of steps here. Yeah. Okay, so then this down here needs to be marked as an override. And it doesn't need this stuff. All. I also kind of forgot why I have this. Is this exist? Cool. Alright. That makes me feel a little bit better. I'm gonna have to mess with every single one of those though, so we're gonna have to find all references to this guy. Let's go through them and kind of fix them up a little bit. Actually, now that I think about it, don't need this anymore. Oh, I think I remember why. It's because I was having little issues and bugs with the way it was handling this stuff. And this stuff right here was so that I can enter this into the panel once and it applies to all of the turrets. So there isn't like one panel per turret, which would obviously be just insane. So anyways, I'm gonna probably see if I can roll this into the base class as well. And this returns false. I don't think I returned in here. I did. Okay, return false is here. What happened with projectile? That bugging? Argument 1, cannot convert from projectile to GUI drawable. Right, okay. Still working on it. Alright. Find references here. Fine, that's fine. I just want everything that's declaring a class. Okay, so I'll just get rid of that. This returns true. Okay, this is probably why I did this. It returns true when I have this, the panel for the input controller open. It freezes all of the other GUI, which is interesting. I'm sure I had a reason, probably because there was some kind of an issue, bug somewhere else, which is fine. You're still unhappy. Not implement abstract member draw GUI. Oh right, I have to put override here. Means I messed it up. Another one, two. All right. This is the boring part of today. Something that I've been wanting to do and I've been putting off because it is kind of boring, but worth it for me. Okay. Then it's now the same. Oh, get rid of this stuff. That's all fine. By the way, don't forget, everybody, I actually changed the command here, but if you want to see the game as of the last time I worked on it, you can check it out there. Kind of play with some of the numbers a little bit if you want to. That was override. Just sort of cleaning house right here. That might be everything. Let's see what happens if I look. One succeeded, one failed. Warning, error. Simple movement does not implement inherited abstract member draw GUI. Okay. Failed to update this one properly. Try that again. One succeeded, one failed. Name enable GUI does not exist. Okay. Interesting. Let's see. Let's get you over here. Go over there. So we actually kind of need access to this sometimes. So I will probably just make it, or add a getter for it. Public bool. Panel is visible. Get turn show panel. Use auto prompt. Yeah, I know you want me to. I don't really want. Sorry. All right. Checking that error list. Not exist. Okay, so this one instead would be panel is visible. All right, try that. Still having some kind of error here. What is it? Input controller does not contain a definition for enable GUI. Gotcha. So this is going to be the same. Instance dot panel is visible. Okay. Again, one succeeded, one failed. Still having little errors here. Okay, I guess I'm using it in more places than I realized. Panel is visible. Try that. Two succeeded. Alright. We did good. We did good. Okay, so then moving forward, we have other little things that I want to play with in that area. So draw GUI still has a bunch of like reduplicated stuff here. I think I'd rather spend a little more time proving that. Like this right here is an obvious pattern that we're reusing. I'm sure I'm using it in other places too. I think what I want to do, pull this whole entire class into a separate file. I'm going to create a folder here for it. Let's call it debug GUI. Move debug GUI utility. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep. I know, working on it. GUI controller. I think that's what I want there, and then I'll create another one. Which will be, what did I call it? GUI drawable. That's that. And that's just for organization's sake. It doesn't change anything. Okay. Let's make sure that Unity is now happy with the changes I just made. Okay. Yes, Unity is okay with that. So now we can sort of build this out a little bit more. I'm going to start commenting, try to build that habit because sometimes I'm really bad at it. If draws a control for opening the panel, then if it is open, also calls draw GUI to panel, draw its contents, let's say. Returns true, returns the output of draw GUI, which, if true, will pause drawing of further panels. Okay. Interface for drawing the GUI panel. So drawing true. True if further panels should not be drawn. Okay. So then what I had started here in this utility script, I guess it's not a bad idea to have a separate file for it. Yeah, in fact, I've just talked myself back into keeping this file, because I was thinking I might start to roll these things over into this file instead, but then I would not be able to use them in other places, so that I don't really see any reason not to just do it the way that I have it here. So really then all I want to do is kind of pick out the things that I'm doing over and over in these debug panels and just kind of pull them over into this file over here. So let's make sure to comment this guy. Draws a string field. Let's see, what does it actually look like? Interesting. This does not look right. I've clearly broken something entirely. Let me check this out. Show panel is false. Show panel equals toggle show panel, panel name, if show panel. Interesting. Okay, let me take a closer look at what's going on there. So what we're seeing here is left-right movement sensitivity and up-down movement sensitivity. If I pause that, I think it's Control-Shift-F, sensitivity. Okay, draw GUI is happening here. Think I might know why? Roller. Okay, it is drawing GUI here. It should be. Excuse me. Draw panel. That's my problem. And actually, I've already sort of rethought what I want to call this. Draw panel toggle. Nah, let's just call it draw panel. Okay, that was my problem because it was sort of bypassing this check of show panel. And it was just going straight to actually drawing for every object, even if we hadn't sort of clicked the little button that we want to unfold it. So, let's try that again. Bennigan's says closed captions. Alright. Great. We've got no names because I haven't named anything. Which is actually something that I meant to address. So we should have like a how to address this? How to do this properly? I guess we would I feel like I want to use reset. Yeah, let's do reset. Okay. Virtual protected void on reset. Is it on reset? Am I thinking of reset? Let's find it. I know I've used it somewhere else. It is just reset. Okay, cool. It's got to be virtual because other scripts I'm sure are using it. So on reset, we want to say panel name equals this .toString. Is that gonna work well? I don't know if that's gonna work well, but let's try it, huh? And then I'll just need to search and find everywhere that I'm doing a reset for something that's also GUI drawable, and this is gonna have to become a virtual override. Override protected void reset. I will say base.reset. Same here. Override protected and base.reset goes here. And this is a trick, not a trick, but it's like a feature called polymorphism where you can have a script or a class that you write, and then you write another one that says, I want to do everything that this one was doing, and then some other stuff too. And so here we're just saying, okay, it already had a function called reset. We're going to write a new version of that function. And when we do, we want to start by calling the version that already existed, which is what this does right here. So this just ensures that anything that is adding on to what our GUI drawable script does doesn't forget what it was meant to do in the first place. The idea. Turret is the last one, so override protected void reset base.reset. Okay, and then hopefully that should slightly alleviate the issue. I'm gonna do a test here. Grab this input controller and reset it. Hope is not doesn't end up being a little disaster. I mean, it's verbose. That's my only problem with it, I guess. But that's not that big a deal. I guess I'm happy with that. It's something. It's a starting point. So input, edit, input settings. I sort of wish that I had taken note of what the things were before, you know? 1 sec. Okay. So now I just need to find all of my GUI drawables and kind of open them up. So turret was one. Just need to look at my tower. And let's just put turret settings here. And then another. So I guess I'll just find all references to this again. Area spawner. Enemy spawn settings. Saving as I go here, I guess. Okay. Input controller, I just did that one. Projectile. Is the script? I'm looking right at it. Okay, projectile settings. Great. Simple movement, which I think was on the enemy. Enemy, where is it? Interesting. Gee, simple movement. This is a trick in Unity where you can find anything that has a certain asset type attached to it, I guess. Box. Oh, right. It's attached to the camera. Okay. Simple movement. Camera settings. On at cursor. That's going to be also here, I think. No, where did I put that? Here we go. Power on settings. And the turret, which I think I already did. Let's call this tower settings. Turret's just the name that I gave the script, and then I started using that everywhere. Tower is probably a better name for it. Alright, let's see if that looks good. Hopefully, like, this was what we call a refactor, where the output should be exactly the same as it was originally. It's just a cleaning or an organization of the code on the inside. This looks better. I mean, this looks not better. It looks exactly the same, or similar enough anyway. So it looks good, what I meant. Enemy spawn setting. Okay, I mean, this looks good. If I add a tower, I should start to get other stuff. Yeah, good, perfect. That's what I hoped for. Interesting that projectile settings starts to draw. I don't actually know how I accomplished that now that I think. It doesn't show up, but then when I hit this, it does. I wonder why that is. Anyways, I'm not going to worry about that. It's working just fine. No need to worry. Okay. So, yes, working on this GUI utility, I just needed to kind of remember what it was that it actually did. So let's take another look at it one last time. So for something like a camera, what I'm doing is I'm printing a string and then a slider and then a float field. So it draws a string field, or not a field, draws a string label, a slider, and a float input. The text to show in the string label the current float value, show the minimum acceptable value to allow, and maximum acceptable value to allow. Turns true if the value was changed. And that was useful certainly because in some cases we have to then take that output and apply it to some other towers. For example, if I was, I'll just jump in and sort of explain it for anyone who might have missed it. Like if I put a tower here and a tower here, then if I make any changes on something like this, then every time I do change it, it should be moving in from one of the towers to the other tower. It's sort of like this script is actually getting triggered by the first tower, but it then will pass it on to all of the other towers. So that if it changes is when it has to do that. That's what the true value is going to get used for. Return false. So you see, returns true if something changed. Sorry, I don't know how noisy my chair is. It feels noisy to me. Okay, so this is kind of good. We're still, I don't even know that I'm using this everywhere that I should be, but that's okay. I'll try to sort of, swap this in where appropriate. But let's look at something like this. What is this actually doing? Oh no, that's a collision thing. Never mind. GUI drawable. Yeah, it's right here. Okay, so yeah, this is the actual place where I am using it, which is great. So we're kind of happy about that. On at cursor. Oh, I just realized something else that we're doing. That we're doing pretty consistently here that we might want to just pull over into the base class. On enable, we're adding the drawable. On disable, we're removing the drawable. Yeah, that's definitely something I'm going to move over so that we don't have to explicitly redo this every time we create a new script. And that's the whole goal is, you do a lot of work up front so that you do a little bit less work as you're going along. That's the kind of the whole idea behind a lot of programming, basically. One sec here, I'm kind of just adjust something. Feels better. Ooh. Buddy, bear with me. Days, happy days. Boom. Okay. Just wanted to kind of tweak my camera a little bit. Okay. Yes, good. So let's just do it. Let's go with a serialized field protected. Cool. Maybe it doesn't need to be protected. I'm looking at both of these and I'm like, maybe they should just be private? I don't know that there's any reason not to. Private means that none of the subclasses can access this information. Protected means that the subclasses can, so I suppose, you know, there might be cases where it's useful to do that, but not necessarily, right? Anyways, let's start private. That's a good place to start, is make it private, and if you need to later, make it protected. That's fine. This would be draw on enable. Yeah, draw when enabled. And then I guess I'll do another one. It's like, don't draw when disabled. And the idea is we sort of pull what we're doing in these two functions, and I'll just sort of do it, cut, paste. And we're kind of have to do the same sort of thing we did with reset, because some of those other scripts are probably doing other things too. Like this one is actually a really bad example. Or I guess a good example, because it's also doing something different. The thing that we're going to pull is just this and then this, whereas this right here is only specific to this script right now. So that means you need to make this virtual, and virtual is the keyword that means you can write a new version of this in the subclass. Or, you know, add to it is another way to think of it. Virtual protected, put on disable, and then I'm just going to add this if statement that says if draw when enabled, then we do this. If don't draw when disabled, then we do that. And this just gives us the ability to kind of control whether that is something that we want to be happening or not. The projectile is a case where we don't do that, because the projectile doesn't actually need to get loaded when we draw it. Or you know, we want to begin drawing it not when it gets loaded, but before that, actually, when it's the turret getting ready to fire it. Anyways, so this is going to be override protected. Yeah, okay, and then this right here will just be base dot on enable. This will be this doesn't actually need to exist at all, which is kind of the main reason why we want to do this, because in most cases we won't even have to write these functions, they'll just be automatically done. If this if draw when enabled is true, register the drawable here. If draw don't draw when disabled is true, unregister the drawable here. Comments just a habit that I'm not great at. I try to do, like, I tend to do it a lot when I'm teaching, but when I'm actually just writing straight up or you know, working on things, I don't. Kind of bad about it. Alright, enable frame. Yes, so I think like that works here. I think they want these to default to true as well. I have this unfortunate sort of feeling that these are going to make our inspectors messy. So I'll probably try to think of a way to make them less messy. I have an idea in the back of my head, but I kind of want to see what it looks like first. This isn't going to work. We're going to need to update a bunch of things, I'm sure. No? That's dangerous. Okay. Like, totally don't feel like that was an actual correct thing. Like, I feel like by adding this, I probably broke most of my scripts. Yeah, see? Like these right here. Interesting. These did not seem to do this. Right, yeah. Don't want... Yeah, okay. So, I'm still gonna make this override protected. and still call base.onEnable. Because that's just the right thing to do. Protected, override, protected, not disable, base.onDisable. I'm trying to wonder if chat's broken. I always have to wonder that, right? You guys still here? It's okay if you're not. Lurking's fine. I get it. I do it all the time. Yeah, this functionality I'm gonna kind of see if I can find a way to roll that over as well, but for now, not worry about it. So I think I'm gonna remove this and just let the on-enabled, on-awake, or on-enabled, on-disabled stuff take care of itself. Simple movement. Guess I didn't end up using awake, so let's just get rid of it. These I can get rid of, and again, the whole point here is that I end up having less just really redundant code spread across my whole project here by doing these kinds of things. These are the things that it's actually calling, so I don't think those are an issue. Maybe I should do another quick check for references. See if I've done it consistently. I haven't. Yeah, this one needs to do it. So there's that. I guess what I should do maybe is solve this and search and all references. Here we go. Just kind of check things one by one, because otherwise I'm certainly going to miss something. So good. Okay, already took care of that one. This one's a little different. Kind of, yeah, took care of that one anyway. Alright, so then again, I just need to go through in Unity. I'm gonna have to check. Actually, I'm gonna leave most boxes checked because they should be checked by default. But like here on the tower, for example, don't really want this to be true. I'm gonna uncheck both of these boxes. And then down here, I'll just leave them, sorry. I don't even know why I mentioned down here. But for like the tower, I'm not gonna have those boxes checked. For the bullet, I don't want the boxes checked, because the tower and the bullets are things that the player is spawning. And again, the whole idea with the tower and the bullets is that we draw their settings once and then have it apply globally to everything, which is different from a lot of the other things that we're doing. So the tower spawner, for example, we want to leave it checked because as soon as the game begins, we want to make sure that this will cause it to start being drawn, and this will cause it to stop if it ever gets destroyed later in the game or something. Probably won't happen for something like the tower spawner, but it would happen for like an enemy or something like that. Okay. Okay. We're still getting there. We're still just sort of refactoring, improving the organization of things, reducing duplicated code and that kind of stuff. All good things. There is something that I want to try to tackle that sort of forgot until this moment, which is this kind of thing. As I just said with the towers, when we create a tower, yo, what's up, Funky? How you doing, man? When we create a tower, we want to just show one panel, and we want everything we do in that panel to apply to all of the towers. Nice, that's awesome. That is a great Saturday. I actually adjusted my schedule like overnight when I was going back to work. I was like, okay, I gotta get up at 8. Actually, I tried 8 o'clock, and that was just too early. But I settled for 8:30. I've done that 5 days in a row now, and it just feels wrong. Just feels wrong, because I was sleeping in till like 10, 11 like you, yeah. Anyways, we're just sort of refactoring some stuff. Listening to some tunes. Nice. Awesome. It's weird. When you get married, I guess cleaning your room isn't a thing that you think about, like... I guess, right? Maybe it's just me. I don't know, I just had that weird random thought. Like, when is the last time I cleaned my room? Well, nice. Good mattress, I hope. Mattress is important, man. Okay. Register debug panel. False. Yeah, like you're in a new place almost. Awesome. Okay, so this functionality of having one instance, or sorry, drawing the panel just once, even if you have a bunch of different instances, is something that I'm sure I'm going to use at some point in the future. Like, I might use it for enemies. I might use it for different tower types and stuff like that. So I think I kind of want to pull this into the base class, which is GUI drawable, which is here. Yikes. I don't know, I guess you're supposed to update like 6 years or 8 years or something, right? I'll probably never do that. But I'm kind of got to figure out how do I make this a generic class? Dude, are you doing the princess and the pea strategy? Just gonna like stack your mattresses. I like it. Pancake sounds good. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to decide if I want to do this. And if I do, like, is it even possible? That's the thing. Yeah, don't pee on that one, good. Certainly don't rage pee, because that would be sad panda. Although rage pee is great for, you know, taking out your rage on the objects that have offended you. Is it possible? Is it going to... I feel like maybe it can work. I'm wondering if I should like embark down this road of potentially broken code. I guess I should. I kind of want to play with it. All right. Sets a default values. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make this a generic class. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. Alright, so that means everywhere that I have GUI drawable currently... No, I can't do that. I can't do that. Can't do that. Nope, 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 can't do it. Okay, I can't do it because my GUI controller is not gonna know what kind of GUI drawable it wants. It's not gonna know what kind to put up here. There's gonna be all kinds of little issues with that, so let's not do that. What's up, Cecil and Kane? Both of you? Are you like two people wrapped in one? How you doing? Not gonna do that. What I am gonna do is create another base class, like an intermediate class between this one that I've already been working on and the other classes that are gonna end up using it. I think that'll work better. So let's go back to Unity. Oh, cool. Okay, never thought about that. That's good. So you're saying... You are saying that places like this... Like, I try to avoid using variable names, but when it makes sense, you know, it makes sense. If I did something like... Jeez, come on. Oh, I hate when it does that. I hate when they try to help you, but it just ends up being too helpful. So like if I made this, don't draw space. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Yeah, okay. So I'm curious now. Cref. So then would this be the name? Or is it just empty? Okay, I'm gonna start it over. Gotcha, okay. Gotcha. Makes sense. And I imagine we have to wrap it around, right? That updates. Okay, I got you. I think I know what you're saying. Don't actually type it out. You just put the tag, right? Yeah, okay. Okay. Makes sense. That should be pretty readable. Got it. Okay, cool. Smart. Thanks. I learned a thing, everybody. Hooray. Too late to make a wish. I missed it. But I hope your wishes come true. I don't think I've ever heard of that. 1111 make a wish. Yeah, no, it's cool. It's helpful. Alright, let's fix it. So I'm just refactoring stuff. I haven't really changed the game at all. I fixed a couple bugs when I got in. There was a bug where projectiles were bouncing off of each other, and I turned that into a feature. Sorry. Yeah, projectiles bounce off each other. They would. I don't think I mean, that's pretty rare. But they were bouncing off other towers. So I made that a feature. So now you can go into the bullet. And we've got... Where's the actual script? Why is the inspector feel so hard to parse for my brain right now? We've got bounce on towers and walls, and we can check that or uncheck it if we want. Other than that, I'm just kind of cleaning up the code because I'm noticing, or I was noticing, I have been noticing the whole time, like a lot of copy and paste having to happen. And anytime you see that a lot, it's kind of causes issues and errors and just not ideal. So I'm just sort of pulling some stuff that a bunch of different code is doing into a single place, and then I'm just calling out functions and things as I need to. So let's call this, what would we call it? So this is going to be for any code where even, like, we're only going to show the debug panel once even though we have multiple instances. We'll call this global GUI drawable. Cool, answered my question. That's good enough for me. This one's gonna be a generic, meaning we pass in a data type here, like the name of another class or something like that. And it's gonna inherit from GUI drawable, so it's gonna do everything that GUI drawable already does and then some. You're unhappy. Okay, yeah, it's also going to be abstract. And abstract just means that we don't actually attach this directly to anything. We have to make a subclass of it, and that's what we attach. Okay, so then this would be used for anything. Use this as a base class when you want to only draw one panel, even if multiple instances exist. Bear with me. I had some pick. Go back to Super Mario RPG. One sec. Oh, I do have it. Okay. It's on the thing. 1 second. Yeah. Cool beans. Alright, now you guys can see what music is playing. Filled my duty. Streamer. That seems wrong. I think you're not seeing what I want you to be seeing right. Hang on. What the heck? That's really... Oh, I see the problem. Better at this stuff. There you go. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So we want to pull this stuff in here. So let's kind of grab that and use that as a starting point anyway. Register debug panel was false. Static, yes. Static, yes. This is going to be subclass type. Yes, good. Okay, and then on awake, register debug panel. Yeah. Okay, so then this stuff is going to get copied over as well. So I think we can just go ahead and cut these things out as I go. Cut this stuff. The whole GUI debug thing, I guess, is going to go away. I think that was only there because I was in the middle of writing it and it was breaking stuff. Okay, so we need to use awake for this. Have we used awake already? We have not, so we're going to do the same kind of thing where we say, hey, I'm going to write this function right now, but I know that the subclasses are going to also want to write this function, and so I'm going to make it a virtual function, which means that they can rewrite it if they need to. I'm going to summarize here. When the first instance is created, register the panel. Don't register for any further instances. Register the panel and create the list. Hang on. All of this. Problem. Ah, interesting. Gotcha. The fact that it's also adding the projectile is a bit interesting, but we'll deal with that shortly. Alter that. Yeah. Okay, seems cool. This is one that's gonna start using this, so let's go with global GUI drawable of turret. And that means that this will have to become override protected. This is gonna be like the boring part of this whole project, is you watching me like move code around and stuff that doesn't actually make anything new happen on the screen, but it's all very important stuff. Base.awake. Hello, Loppy Lop. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate you hanging out. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so then I'm gonna need to sort of, again, have a way to like pull this information. So I think I just need to make this a public bool has registered debug panel. Has registered panel, I guess. Get return has registered debug panel. Thanks, Funky. Oh, that's really nice. That's so nice. Thank you. You're so kind. For anyone who might not have heard this, I changed the command for getting a build. It's not going to be totally live. Like, it's not what I'm doing right this moment. but what I'm doing hasn't changed much anyway. So if you want to see what's up there, go ahead and click the link. You can play it. You can download the whole project. That might not be the latest project though, sorry. So if you do want to download it, maybe wait till the end of stream today. But yeah, if you want to play with anything that's in there, let me know if you find any good values that, you know, feel right in the debug panels and stuff like that, because it's kind of like what I want to get to, and I'm not quite there yet. But what I want to get to is you can sort of play with those things and find things that are cool, and to make this a much more sort of interactive experience for you guys to just be able to play with values and send them to me, and then I can like input them into the game and make them real and that kind of stuff. Still a ton of features we got to get in there before that's possible. Okay, so let's do that, and then I'll say if not has a registered panel, then we also want GUI controller.add drawable projectile. Also add the projectile prefab debug panel. You can also play on mobile. Just make sure you check the little box that says enable mobile input. All right. Maybe this will work, and then we'll have to just sort of pull this information as well here. And I'm not going to call it all turrets. Obviously, that's misleading. All instances. Go there. You don't seem to like this. Can I convert from blah 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 to blah blah blah? Argument 1, cannot convert from global GUI drawable of subclass type to subclass type. Yeah, okay. I can see where that would be an issue. Yeah, okay, alright. We're gonna have to just sort of make this look a little messier. But the list is also gonna have to say GUI draw type. One of the funny things about being a programmer is you wouldn't expect this necessarily, but like you become very finicky about formatting, and you want things to look nice. Things need to look organized and clean, and if they don't, then it's annoying. Okay. When a new instance becomes enabled, it needs to be added to the list. And then when an instance becomes disabled or destroyed, remove from the list. Okay. Panel. Okay, and then moving forward, I know there's more stuff happening down here. Stuff right here is going to be broken. Right. Instances. We do have all instances. Okay. This is the part that I think was going to be tricky for me, was how do I get it to also know that it should pass this information around to everything else, like all the other instances. And that is where I think it's going to be, like I said, tricky. Okay, I think this is how I'm gonna have to do it. No, wait, hang on. Trying to think of the right way to handle this. Okay, so what is this doing? This is basically the same as what this function here does, which is we're labeling something, we're drawing a slider, we're drawing a float text field. Like, it's doing all of those things. The only thing that's different is this part right here. So I think what I want to do, I want to sort of start utilizing this function. So it would be GUI a debug GUI utility dot raw float slider with field. We're calling it range, and I'm just sort of pulling information from down here up to there. The reference float value is range. The minimum value is 1.0f. Maximum is 100 f. Yeah, that's all I need. Happy. Argument 2 must be passed with the ref keyword. Right, I forgot. C# needs you to be really explicit when you're passing things in as a reference. And that just means that when I pass in this variable, any changes I make in the function will also take place outside the function where the variable came from, which is critical. So really, I just want to do something like this, where it says bool did change equals that, and then if did change for each, or I mean, like, I guess I could just sort of cut this at that point and do that. Seem right? No, it's very unhappy with that. And it's gonna be messy, messy. This is the part that I was worried about, is I'm not actually sure that I can do what I'm trying to do over in this file over here. Like, all this knows is that we have this thing called a global GUI drawable, and that it has some subclass type. It doesn't know what that subclass has in it. This sort of stuff is not work. So I think what I need to do is to try to get back to not having this here. What about globe? Here. That means this won't work. Globy? Too much global? Did I say that? Globy? Globy GUI drawable? Dylan, I know you know C# better than me. What I need to do, what I want to do, and I mean, I could just sort of abandon this slight optimization, but I want to be able to write on enable to be aware what the subclass is. I guess I just can't. Probably can't. You know what? Maybe I can. Maybe it would be, I just have to cast it, right? I would just have to say, okay, I think I can do this. Subclass type this, yeah? Maybe I'm doing the wrong kind of casting. Just get these mixed up. Is that how you do it? Doesn't like that. The name subclass type does not exist in context. It does. I say this as subclass type? Doesn't like that either. Type parameter subclass type cannot be used with the as operator because it does not have a class type constraint nor a class constraint. Okay. I say where subclass type is a class. Okay. Cool. That makes me feel better. Alright, so let's do this. Let's say var this as subclass equals this as subclass type. If this as subclass is not null, add it. Or what I like better would be if it is null, we throw some kind of an error. If not, then we could be this as a class. Just trying to like follow the rules of the language. Try to sort of convince it to do the thing that I need it to do while also understanding what it expects. If it is null, I definitely want to throw some kind of an error here, so I'll do debug.log error using this name, or not this dot name, but this to string as base class for using this string as base class for a different class. You must only use, I'm sorry, I can find a better way to say this. Okay. Using global GUI. No, hang on. I will keep that. Using this .string as base class for a different class, you must only use GUI drawable. Global GUI drawable of t as base class for t. And then I will, disable the script. This dot enabled equals false. Kill the script. We're done. Because at this point, you shouldn't do anything else. Like, you should just, you've made a mistake. You need to now immediately stop, go fix the code, and then come back. Like, you just should not allow that. I don't know if C# has compile time checking of something like this. I wonder if it does. Maybe I should like write that as a little note here. To do check if C# can do compile time checking. Take this chance, or let me do this. Sorry, trying to write good comments here, people. Always write good comments. Make sure that GUI drawable, global GUI drawable of t is base class only of t. I'll just say it can do this at compile time instead. Okay, and it's going to be kind of the same thing. I mean, I basically have to do the same exact process down here. Then again, maybe I don't have to. Like, I think if we got the error up here, maybe I can just assume that it's okay. We're assuming that the type check was already passed in on enable. Okay, so then I just have to do this little check here. We can do the like static version of this. Can I convert subclass type to subclass type? Okay, maybe it has to be dynamic because it's a subclass as subclass type. Okay, yeah, I have to do the dynamic version of this conversion. I guess maybe it's just because it's a class. I think that has to be the version that you use for that. Okay, so that solves one problem, but we still have to kind of figure out how to make this work because it currently doesn't. What are you not liking? All instances is inaccessible. Okay, that's easy enough, I guess. In fact, maybe that's it. Maybe we just make this visible. So we'll do a public. Maybe I don't want it to be public. Maybe I want to make these things protected. I'll make them protected. Oh, okay. So you're saying not only is it a class, but it has to inherit from this global GUI drawable of subclass type. Or like I can say Oh, that part. That feels circuitous, but I guess maybe it works. So then this should never be null, right? Because if this forces it, or hang on. God, that feels like it's not gonna like that. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it all in there. It feels like a sort of a circular logic thing. It'd be null because that is a class type. Yeah, no, it would have to be a class type because inheritance is only supported in classes for sure. Man, are you saying this will always be null? Do you think that I'm writing this correctly? You're unhappy. Duplicate protected modifier. Yeah, because I'm still writing it. Okay. Protected static list of subclass type. All instances. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely nullable. Yeah, for sure. Get return all instances. Hello, Lunasec. Thanks for coming by. Welcome to the channel. Feel free to check out the live build. Type !live build. It's not totally up to date, but it's pretty close. And if you want to say hi, go ahead. If not, that's cool too. Okay, so then this would use that version. For every turret in all instances, the range. Oh. Oh, double interesting. Okay. Value equals blah. I actually would need to say value equals new value. I almost forgot that there. That would mean that if I had typed in a number, it wouldn't have actually like kept the number. But down here I should be able to just do range. This would be range times range. Okay, I feel like this is working. I guess it's not a very confident sounding thing, so let's try it. Let's actually figure it out. All right, so we've got an error already here. We've got, okay, so something similar that we're trying to do further down. Let's just do the same sort of thing. I think this is all redundant at this point, so totally forgot to remove that. This, keep it, do did change equals debug to utility dot draw float slider with field. Whoops. Draw float slider with field. Range this time. Seconds between target checks. Target check, sorry, ref target check interval. Minimum is 0.1f, maximum is 2.0f. Null. Isn't that true of anything? Null, null, null. Nully, null, null. Null, null. Or I guess I could just do something like if blah blah. It's probably a bit cleaner to do it that way. I don't know. I like this sort of bool equals dual did change type of thing, but maybe it's just a little bit cleaner in this case to do it. So then this would be capitalized now. This one's just going to be target check interval, and that goes here, here, all of that. Null, 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 nully, null, 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 null. And we're kind of just doing the same thing here. This feels right. This feels like the right way to do it. Like, my thinking originally was maybe I try to pull this loop over here somehow, but I just don't think that's good because every script or every, class that does this might want to do something a little bit different with that information. In this case, we're having to do 2 value changes as opposed to just 1, so that's already a little different than like a completely standard case. This one over here not only changes a value but also stops a repeating function call from happening, and then restarts it with a new name, or not a new name, but a new value. So I think this is probably the right way to apply this. So if blank that, and the blank would begin this sort of thing, and I'm just pulling this information from down below. Seconds between shots. Value is going to be fire interval this time, so that's here and here and here. Here and here. Wait, why does that feel wrong? Why is the value there twice? Oh, because invoke takes an initial delay and then a repeating delay. I guess I should put in my stream info that I'm doing Unity. That's like a tag. I guess it's not a tag, but now it's in the title. Sweet. Okay, cool. Null, 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 nully null, nully nully null. All instances goes there. Let's move along. And again, the whole idea here is I'm ending up with a lot less code over here on the right in the subclass. That's what I want. Okay, so then this time pretty simple. We're just doing one thing, but again, it's still going to be a little bit neater, and we have as much flexibility as we could possibly hope for. This time it's lead factor. Copy all that junk up here. And variable that we're playing with is target lead factor, goes here, minimum is again 0.1, maximum is 2.0. That's it. Need anything else here? I think we can get rid of this pound if thing. Pretty sure whatever was necessitating that has been since solved. Our music died. Maybe it's just very quiet. I guess it's just very. Nice. A null named null declared null. I gotcha. Null. Okay, so we should test this. Let's not dig any deeper until we've tested it. Okay, so what did I actually do? Let me just make sure I understand everything that I did properly. Okay, so we're looking at turret. Turret is properly inheriting. Doesn't have its enable or its disable, which is good because those things are taken care of. Let me do a quick check here. If I made this game object or something, is that going to throw me an error? It does. The type game object cannot be used as type parameter subclass type in the generic type or method. There is no implicit reference conversion from that to that. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that this where statement that we have up here, this right here, is basically what means that this word has to match this word over here. That's what I wanted. So I think that we're pretty safe, and I think that we don't need to worry about any of this. In fact, I'll make this a little bit nicer. I'll just say private static. I was just trying to decide if I want this to be static or not. I guess I do. Private static subclass type instance, I guess. And then on awake, we are going to say instance equals this as subclass type. Oops. And then we don't actually have to do this check down here every time. And that's kind of what I wanted to avoid. So my to-do here of can this be done at compile time is actually solved. So we can just assume that it's all good. And I'll just call it instance instead. Instance down here as well. Okay, so yes, we've made this a subclass. We've gotten rid of all the extra stuff. We've rewritten our GUI function to hopefully take care of what it's supposed to do. So now let's actually test it. And the test here is going to be the moment I place a tower, we should see a new menu appear. And when I place another, we should not see a new menu appear. It's great. And then we can do things like increasing range. So they should both be able to shoot from pretty far away. Interestingly, something seems to have broken the projectile. Are we getting errors? We got no errors, which is interesting. So there's some code path that's not really working properly now. Oh, okay, okay. Let's reverse the order on these. Because this wouldn't have actually happened. So maybe that's why. That. Random conversational question. What do you do when you hang out with your friends? What do you guys do when you hang out with your friends? Alright, let's try this again. Okay, so we got projectile and tower settings. And let's... Aw, don't say that. Okay, this does not seem like it has worked properly. Because this guy over here is still acting like it has a much shorter range. You're gonna do one of those like King Arthur's court things where they have the like the jousters in the middle or whatever. Is that an actual thing? Maybe I'm just I saw that in movies, you know. This feels like it's not working. I wonder why. So let's try this one more time. Q, tower settings. Change. Let's do other things too. Like this should be really obvious, the number of seconds between shots. We're gonna see that really quickly. Projectiles don't seem like they're going anywhere. Oh, I know why. It's because they're like hitting the tower and then immediately destroying. That's awesome, dude. That sounds really fun. You're in Arizona, right? I'm like, where is that? I guess you're not around here, so kind of not a helpful question, but that's pretty awesome. Okay, so I need to fix a couple things. One, projectiles are destroying themselves instantly, which is not a good thing. I think my preferred solution would be to have the projectile know that it should not collide with its own owner, or, you know, parent, basically. So I would say create the projectile, and then I'll say spawned, or no, it's physics dot ignore collision between this dot collider. Okay, hang on. Evil times. Tournament. Yeah, oh man, this is awesome. Definitely. I would totally go to this. Pretty cool. Bullets are gonna have owners? Yeah, man. I mean, what would you call it? The shooter? They don't collide with their shooter. Let's let's do this. Serialized field, private, collider. I just thought of probably a better solution, which would be to just not have a collider on most of the tower. Let's open this guy up. This thing, you don't need a collider. There we go, easy peasy. That's all I need to do. That's probably the right choice. And then back to the main scene. So we don't need to worry about that. Forget this. But anyways, I definitely verified that it was not propagating correctly. So just need to figure out why this is not happening properly. So let's set a little bug breakpoint on this. Then we are going to attach it. Run it. Yes, enable debugging. Okay. Take a few extra seconds to kind of figure out what's going on. Okay, and then I'm going to add a couple of turrets. I'm going to open up tower settings and voila. What I'm expecting for this to return false, right? So, okay, so it jumps over that. Yeah, right. Okay, so that's normal. I think then I guess what I want to really be doing is getting a true value here. So let's set the breakpoint here instead, get rid of that one. Continue. So this will now only take effect if I actually change something. So now, no worries. So now we can see that there's two values that have changed. Or, sorry, one value has changed from the other. Interesting that they are showing as the same, but that doesn't matter. We are expecting this to return true, so if I step out, we're now here. Check off. Does it not show like the return value? We should be able to step in and see that it will step in here, and then for each turret in all instances. So all instances has a count of 2. Got turret 1 and turret 2. Their interval is already updated, which is great. One also is updated. Great. Okay. Seems like it is doing the thing it should do. And just to be clear, this fire interval. I guess that the number might have changed, like, in a way that I'm not seeing here in the debugger. So maybe this is not a perfect check. Maybe I should do another check by like typing in a number. So let's go from this number here to like 0.5 per. Okay. I think it jumped the gun a little bit. It did 0, which is cool. Not, but that's okay. Actually, 0 is probably not ideal for what I'm trying to do. All right, let's hit continue. Let's restart this test. Not really working for me. Q, and settings. Let's do 1 instead. Man, it's really finicky. Maybe that's something that I should address. It's doing this every single frame, so even like trying to type something in is not going so hot. But that's okay, I guess. New value is 12. Okay, worth a shot. So let's step out. Definitely have a change here. This one has already been updated to 12, which makes sense. All instances, so we should have one with a value of 12, one with a value that is not 12. Not what happened. Okay, somehow it's already updated on both of them. I don't understand. And also, I don't understand why that would not gate and seem to take effect correctly. Fill my breakpoint, which I've already forgotten. There it is. Okay, back over here. Let's actually do 0.1. Right? Like that one is not updating. Sure. Not at the same rate anyway. Pull this all the way down. You're gonna shoot fast, you're gonna shoot slow. Why are they not the same? Maybe there's something weird happening. It's not registering properly. Address. All instances. Seems like it should be fine. Okay, I guess I'm gonna throw a little doodad in here. Make sure that that's getting called properly. Good. Okay. Oh. Okay, yeah, no, I made a mistake. Okay, yeah, this is just gonna have to be... I want to keep that sitting in memory for every instance. Guess I will. Alright, that was my mistake. My mistake was... Since we wanted to keep one... I thought at least we wanted to keep one object in memory as the one thing that's getting drawn, and then have it bounce from everything else. Well, that ended up meaning down here when I was trying to say, hey, I created a new tower, let's put it into the list. Instead of putting the new one in, it was putting the first one in every time. So if I have like tower A, and then tower B, C, and D, for A, it'll add A to the list. For B, it'll also add A to the list. For C, it would add A, and for D, it would add A. And it was just adding the same tower over and over again. So instead of every tower getting in that list, it was the same one repeatedly. So removing the word static here means that every single instance now has its own reference, and that's what's going to get added instead, which is the thing that we want to do. That was my mistake. I didn't really think that through. So, try this one last time, hopefully. Q and Q. Easy check. Lowering the firing rate, increasing the range. Got some errors, so that's cool. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't think it through again. This right here has to happen anyway. Okay, so Q. Increase range, decrease fire rate, like long range machine gunners, basically. Okay, so that seems to work better. That means that the framework kind of is doing the thing it should do. So now we can pull it into projectile as well. Because projectile kind of needs to work the same way. Or no, it doesn't actually, now that I think about it, because the way that projectile works, even though we have the same basic idea of when I make a change in one panel, I want it to go to all projectiles, but the difference here is that we're actually using the prefab of the projectile, and we're changing that, and the prefab is the one that gets copied when we create new bullets. So I only have to really change the prefab in that case to make all bullets automatically act that way. So we don't really have to actually do any like duplication of values like we are with the towers. The big difference being that projectiles don't live very long, whereas with towers, if I place two of them and then I want to change both of them and they already exist, I can't rely on changing the prefab in that case. It actually makes me wonder now, that might be an issue, because if I create two towers and I change them like we just demonstrated, then that's fine. But if I then create a third one, it's not going to have the changes, right? Yeah. Okay, I just noticed that. I didn't really think of that. That's definitely an issue with the system currently. So I think I just need to, excuse me, change our turret to also modify the prefab. Which I guess is simple enough. I can just add it up here, I think. Also add prefabs for the tower and projectile to the also register prefabs so that new instances act correctly. So this would be all instances dot add these. Maybe it doesn't know what the prefab is. Yeah, it doesn't know what it is. I think that I would have to use spawn at cursor in that case. Alright, here's what I'm going to have to do. We're going to create a new function. Public void add prefab to GUI instance. Now add prefab to receive GUI, let's call it debug updates. It's going to take in a reference to a turret. Prefab. Registers the prefab to also receive, let's put it this way, adds a prefab to all instances for this class in order, sorry, to all, okay, so it's what, cref, or no, cref equals all instances. To receive updates, receive changes made in debug panel. Okay, and so that would be all instances dot add prefab. Yeah, I was wondering if that was going to work or not. Thanks. I guess I just copy it from up here. You think it'll figure that out? Because it is subclass or a base class member. Doing my own blink check here. GIs. Okay. I'm curious. I'm gonna try. If I rename this. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't seem to register it. So let's just plop it here. Does not seem happy with that. That's okay. I'm not gonna worry about it too much. Okay, so then I need for no, I need for spawn at cursor. Add the pre. Seems like this seems messy. I don't like this. It's a little messy. Oh well, I'll have to live with it. Spawn at position, blah 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 blah, clone equals instantiate that. No, I think I'll have to do this a different way. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not gonna do this because what would be messy about this is I tried to make this script relatively generic meaning I could reuse the spawn at cursor for other things. We don't have to just be placing towers. I could even pull this into a totally separate game and use it there. But what I would have to do if I was going to basically have this call a function on the turret is I would be coupling the spawn at cursor to the turret. I don't really want to do that. That means that it would only work with a project that has the turret script at that point. That's the whole, sort of defeats the purpose of making things, you know, generic and flexible like that. So I think I need to do this another way. I think what I need to do is to do something, it's a little messy here, but I'll have to just say, basically copy values from the first instance, or copy values from an instance that already exists. And this is to update new instances to match changes from the debug panel. So it would be I guess I just need to pull the things that are being modified. So it's range, target check interval, fire interval, target lead factor. Target check interval, target lead factor, I think was one of them. I've already forgotten the other one. Fire interval, okay. Okay, so it would be this dot range equals all instances index 0 dot range. Can I do this instances dot first or something? Okay, whatever. Range. This is going to be a little messy, but that's basically what we want to do. Oh, nice. I should definitely be looking into Link. I never have. I know everyone talks about it all the time. Still never played with it. Okay, I'm hoping this will work. Yeah, that's what I hear. So let's add a couple. Let's make some changes. Increase range, decrease time. Index is already out of range. Must be non-negative and less than the size of the collection. Okay, fine. I'll deal with that. I feel like that's probably a... No, totally game breaking. All right. Where did you come from? Well, I mean, I think I know where you came from. Right here, I guess we don't have a 0. Yeah, because it's happening on enable, right? Okay. Cool. Yeah, I guess I need to do this on enabled, which maybe is just the right way to do it anyway. You know what I mean? Like maybe I should just pull it into the base class. Like, no, because I can't. Or can I? Can I do something like this, or instance equals all instances at index 0? Can I do that? No, that's a reference. Copy. Is there some form of copy construction in C#? There's gotta be. How could there not be? That would be so crazy. Copy constructor. I guess it's not a constructor. I just need some sort of copy operator. We buy value from for a class. Copy a class. A deep copy, yeah. We have to implement a hardcode method of our own. Collection, no. Serializable. You'd have to serialize one and then deserialize it. Sounds messy. Memberwise clone sounds like the thing that I want to do. Protected, unfortunately. Maybe I'll try it anyway. Memberwise clone. All instances at index 0. Yeah, it doesn't really like that. No overload or method. Memberwise clone takes one argument. Oh, okay. What does it want? Now I'm confused. I'll just show you guys what I'm looking at. C# memberwise clone. Shallow copy of the current object. Okay. Got it. Okay, I get it now. So really what I'm saying is instance equals all instances at index 0 dot memberwise clone. Cannot implicitly convert type object to subclass. Version exists. Are you missing a cast? Shallow copy the current object. The following example finds a shallow copy method that calls return as a person this memberwise clone. Yeah, okay, you're just supposed to cast it. Alright, so then that would be subclass type. Okay. I am a bit suspicious of this. But it seems like a thing that should be implemented, so it makes sense that it exists. Hopefully it does. But the idea here with this one is for new instances, copy the values from an existing instance so as to stay current with changes in the debug panel. That's the idea. All right, see if that works. All right, bing bong. Already getting an error. Super cool. Range up. See, speed down. Things probably breaking. Yep. All right. What is happening now? Index was out of range. You are not telling me where, which is frustrating. Turret. 6. Oh, I haven't saved this, so there's probably something gross floating around. Turn on error pause this time. I don't know why I didn't have that on. I always have. Alright. Q. Tower. Change up. Down. Other tower. Nope, still not getting it. That guy right there is still not updated. It is working with old information. So, that's still a problem. Okay, so now I'm curious. What is this actually doing? It's still gonna do it by reference though, right? Yeah, I feel like I understand what's happening. I think C# is very tricky when it comes to references versus values of things. I think what I'm doing is I'm updating this variable to point to some new object that's getting created by this. Not really what I want. It's like this right here, I guess to put it another way, this creates a new copy of the turret script somewhere. Instead of just copying its values. I guess I just need to, some other people were saying you have to write this yourself. I mean, I guess. So let's just see. Thinking. I don't suppose I could override the operator. Maybe that's not the right choice. Yeah, I'll just do it this way. Private void copy to copy values to. No, because then we're still not going to be able to call it over here. I guess I'm going to have to implement that as a abstract function. Abstract public. No, I'll make it private. No, I'll make it protected. Protected void copy values to subclass type recipient. This right here is going to be a function. What would you say about this? Copies values from this instance to recipient. Used when a new instance is created to copy values that may have changed in the panel. Okay, so that means that I just need to write this instead as an override protected turret, turret recipient. Too many parentheses there. Okay, and then we're just saying recipient dot range equals this dot range. Recipient dot target check interval equals this dot target check interval. Recipient dot fire interval equals this dot fire interval. Recipient dot last one, target lead factor equals this dot target lead factor. Let's copy this description over. Like this mix. All right. So then we're calling it here. Instance dot copy values to I guess I'm doing it backwards. All instances at index 0 dot copy values to instance. There's a part of me that's like, no, this should be the other way around. It should become copy values from, but it's like, that's nitpicky. All right. Cool. Hope this will do better. Let's see. Okay, 2 towers. Long range, short interval, new tower. Come on, buddy. Nope, still not happening. That is Insanosaur. Dot range equals its dot range. Why is this not working? Okay. All instances .0.com to other instance. Gotta understand why this is not happening. Okay, let's try a test. Q. Alright, so I don't really care what's gonna happen here because it doesn't make sense. This is sure. I guess I don't need to create a second one. Pull that up, pull that down, throw this in. Right. So all instances at index not include static stuff, which is annoying. So I guess I'll use watch all instances. 0 has fire interval of 0.1. 1 has slightly higher, which is weird. 1 has 2. Really? Why did you end up with something a little different? That feels like a bug. Probably have to adjust that as well. One sec. Okay, so that's what I expect. So then we step in and we are getting instances. Sorry, excuse me, burp. Here we are looking at this. Look at what this is. This should have a value of 0.1. Great. Recipient is the one that has 2. Okay. Stepping in. Changes not. The wrong thing. Okay, I am looking at the wrong thing. Fire interval changed correctly. Range changed correctly. I guess awake never happened. Okay. I know what it is. Alright, so we have to actually do extra steps. Like we have to do this thing down here. So let me just do this. This. Open a new new window? Okay. We're gonna do a little bit of copying from one place to another within the same file. So we just need to also do recipient dot square range equals range times range. And then same two things that we do here, we have to also do. Honestly, I guess that at this point I should be writing a new function. Or a new set of functions even. Probably the right choice. Oh well, I'm not gonna do it. Fire interval also has to do invocation updating. Then target lead factor is the only one that doesn't have any extra step that it needs to do. So I think this will do it. So the reason why it wasn't updating range was because it doesn't actually use range directly, it uses the square range. And that's just to save a little bit of math time, because when you think about how you do a range, think of it like a triangle. And in order to actually get the length between, say, object A and object B, you'd have to use a square root operation, which is expensive or kind of slow. We say expensive, we mean slow. So we're just doing this to avoid having to use square root. And then here, when I was updating the amount of time between certain activities, I actually have to pass that information into this invocation thing, which is Unity's terminology for I want to set up a function to keep calling repeatedly. So we just have to kind of update the repeatedness of it to have the new speed that we're setting on things. So that's why we have extra steps in both of those cases. Let's see if that works. It seemed like it worked. I mean, but I can't say for sure. So let's run a new test from scratch. Q, power up, range up. I always do the same steps when I'm testing things, by the way. Also, it's always helpful to like have the exact same environment as much as possible. Okay, these things are slightly different, but that could just be a timing issue. It probably is just a timing issue, because the way the repeatedness works, it's from the moment that you create the object, or in our case, update the values, then it will start repeating from that moment. So this just doesn't happen to line up with the other two, but in terms of the rate of fire, it should be the same, which it appears to be. But I do want to check something. Let's see if I can attach it. You know what, I probably didn't even need to attach it. I can look at my tower. Great script. Okay, so we got 1.1.1. We have 97 point something. We have 0.359 and 100 and 0.1. So what's interesting actually is this one right here is not actually getting the most up-to-date information. It's getting slightly outdated. I think this is a little bit off because of the way that the slider works. It's coming probably exactly 1 frame earlier. When we pull the slider from 10 to 100, this is the value that it would have had 1 frame earlier than when I finally hit 100. And the same for this one right here. I'm pulling from 2 down to 0.1. So I think there's a delay happening here of 1 frame somewhere. So I need to double check how I'm doing the propagation between the different instances. It's a global GUI drawable. No, it is the debug GUI. What am I saying? This value string, new value equals parse, value is not equal to new value. Oh, you know what I did? I did this wrong. It's because I'm using the slider, this doesn't actually work correctly. Yeah, I need to update this a little bit. It's tricky because I'm trying to get the same information potentially from 2 different places. One of them being the slider, the other being that little text field where I can type in a number. But they're kind of competing with each other right now, is basically what's happening. So I think I need to do something like float new value equals that. And then if new value, or if value is not equal to new value, that's when we would do this stuff. Hey, come on, how you doing? What's up? Happy Saturday afternoon to you, sir. How are you today? Sorry, that's me being weird. Okay, so then if we did all that stuff, text value string, try new value equals parse as string. Good to hear. Glad to hear it. I'm pretty good. I was thinking about what you're saying earlier about me not wearing a tie, and I realized I just don't care today, so don't worry about me. I wanted to prioritize, like, pulling some new music and stuff for stream today, so I didn't bother putting on my tie. I'm just working on, like, debugging some issues here. Still working on tower defense stuff. Listening to some remixes from Super Mario RPG at the moment. The bug that I'm working on is when I would create 2 and then change something and then create a third one, the third one wouldn't work correctly. It wouldn't be the same as the others. Now I think it's up to date. And then the next bug after that was 1 and 2 wouldn't actually be exactly the same. They'd be similar, but not quite. So let's see if that's changed. Tower number 1 has 1, 0.1, 0.1. Number 2 has the same. Number 3 has the same. So they're all good. So I think I fixed that bug. I think we're in good shape for that kind of stuff. My next goal, which is really my first goal, is to go back to, like, updating some little chunks of code to be a little bit neater than they are currently. Just need to kind of go across the board here and see what I'm doing that's a little bit messy. Things like this, where I've got something that's pretty standard, and the same as with this one right here. This is actually This is actually doing something that we already have solved in this other script here. Like, it looks very much the same because it is the same. So let's replace all of that with if debug GUI utility dot draw float slider with field seconds between waves, and its spawn interval, which is a ref, and then 0.1f, and then 100f, and then do this stuff. At the rest. Huh. Just realized, like, this part right here is totally redundant. Are we doing that here as well? No. Okay, good. So yeah, just refactoring, cleaning stuff up. Not particularly exciting. Let's see. Let's pull. Let's chat, shall we? All right. Without having to necessarily give away too much information, who is your oldest friend, and where did you meet them? Them all. Feel like sharing, or anyone. This ensures that new instances are up to date. My oldest friend. Let's see. When I hear oldest friend, I think when I hear oldest friend, I think someone you're still friends with, right? Because I could go back to like first grade and name someone I knew then, but I don't know them anymore. Who's your oldest friend? I think that's what he's talking about. I think it is funky, actually. Like, definitely in terms of the people that I know still, who I'm still friends with after the longest time, it's gotta be funky. How did I meet him? I met him in school. Can't remember the exact circumstances. I know that we were in class together, but like how did we actually meet? How did we become friends? I can't remember that at all. I think that's one of the things that I'm like, that makes meeting people tricky for me, is I don't actually know or understand really how I make friends. It sort of happens. Oh, true. So then I have to wonder how did I become friends with him? I have no idea. Right? I have no idea. Funny. I think that's it, though. Mostly for me, it's like I make friends with people that I happen to work with or go to school with or something, you know? And we probably just get to talking and we're like, hey, you know, we're cool. You're cool. I want to talk to you more. About it. What was I doing? I've forgotten. I forgot what I was doing. Okay, I remember. Enter. Nope, we're on area spawner. I want to make this a thing. This is, what is this? This is basically the same thing, it's just with an int instead, that's all. Yeah. I guess that's true. So now I'm wondering, do I want to actually write another function that more or less does the same as this? Because that's another form of redundancy that I'm trying to avoid. But like, the only thing that would actually need to change is going to be this part. So maybe it is possible. Maybe I can do something like this. This would become draw slider with field. But now I'm making it, excuse me, again, what C# calls generic, which is I want to be able to pass in like a data type that this function somehow uses to determine exactly what it's going to do. So sometimes I'll pass in floats, sometimes I'll pass in integers. I'll call this number type. And number type will be here, as well as here, as well as here, as well as here. Huh. Slider only likes floats though. Does it only like floats? I think you could do ints. No, it only does floats. Interesting. Okay. You know what? In that case, I think it's gonna just be a float. But yeah, this will make it tricky. Yeah, I think I'll just have to keep it afloat. I think that's just what I'll have to do. It'll stay float. And that just means that instead of jumping from like 0 to 1 to 2, it's going to go, you know, and actually do decimal values in between, which might be tricky for something like how many enemies per wave. You know, if the value is 1.5, it doesn't make sense. But what I can do is cast it to an integer value. Somewhere in between, I guess. It's just, sometimes you have to do this. So I'll just make it a private variable, call it float. What did I even call it? I mean, what are we dealing with here? Enemies per wave, okay. This would be wave size, okay. Sorry, for some reason that did not click for me. Wave size as float. Which equals wave size, I guess. Do they like me doing that? No, it's not gonna like me doing that. But that's okay. On awake, we're gonna set that up. We're gonna say wave size as float equals wave size. What we'll do is kind of the same as down here, same basic idea. We're just sort of getting rid of 5 lines of code to have only 1 over here. We're just gonna update some stuff here. Enemies per wave. I capitalized it. Guess I didn't do that before. We're gonna put wave size, but what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna say no, I guess it I was gonna say I'm gonna declare a new variable, but I guess I don't have to. I already have this variable. Wave size is float. I'm gonna do this. Sorry, I'm doing this in the wrong place. I should do it here. Then 1 and 100 are our min and our max. And I'll say boop, boop. And what will I say here? I'll say wave size equals wave size as float dot round or to nearest. What do they call it? It's gonna be float dot round nearest ceiling. How does this work? Why am I? Oh, it's mathf, isn't it? Mathf dot round to int. That's the one. Wave size as float. It's a little tricky though, and I'll show you. I'll show you what I think is going to happen. I was thinking about what I was saying earlier about my first friend, and I remember that I was briefly friends with someone at my school before we met Funky, with a kid named Daniel. I've like known too many Daniels, I guess. Anyways, if I go into enemy spawn and I say enemies per wave, what's weird is that we're gonna now start seeing like decimal values over here, but hopefully this will work. Yeah, it seems to be generally okay. I mean, I could sit here and count them, but I'm not going to. What I think I want to try to avoid is to actually not show like the decimal values in the field. I don't think I want that. So maybe there is some work that I need to do here still. That's okay. This is debug stuff. I don't need to be that nitpicky, do I? I'm just... It's fine. Just do whatever. Okay. Draw GUI, enemies per wave, yada yada yada, return false. Okay, cool. That feels good. Camera cursor is not a thing that exists. It doesn't exist. How do we even have this script? Deleted. Okay, and then constructible doesn't have anything going on there. Input controller does. Okay, so then here's another pattern. Here's something where I'm drawing a label and then having like a string field. So let's just create a new function up here for that. Public static bool draw labeled string field. So string label ref string value. It's gonna be very simple. GUI layout dot label, or no, let's start with the begin horizontal part. In fact, I'll just copy everything here, plop it in there. Instead of just saying a literal string here, we will have it print label. This one will be value. It will also be value. I always find something good on OC Remix. What are you guys seeing there? Add to source control. Oh, you're seeing like the bottom of this window? That's weird. Why are you seeing that? Is that the VLC thing? I'm confused. What am I looking at? Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm a total idiot. All right, don't mind me. I'm an idiot. Let's see. Value equal. Say string new value. Or no, do it this way. String new value equals that. If value is not equal to new value, so basically if something changed, I don't know why it says new twice. And I guess value equals new value. Exactly. GUI layout dot end horizontal. Return true, otherwise we get to the end and we return false. So basically true here is something changed, false means no, nothing changed. I guess what I could do is more like bool did change equals false. Did change equals true. Or I could do this even better. I could say did change equals this mess. Value equals new value. And then we just return did change. There, a little bit neater. Fewer if statements. That seems good. Let's just write out our little explanation of what this thing does. Draws a string label and then an editable string field. The text to show in the string in the label the current string value in the field. Returns true if the value was changed. Or I guess I could just say whether the value was changed this frame. Probably a nicer way to say it. Okay, so then we come over here and we can replace this with debug GUI utility dot draw label string field with positive key, and then axis.m positive key name. You're unhappy. Why? You are a string. Ref. I have to put the word ref. Got it. Can't forget that. Okay. And then the same again, debug GUI utility dot draw labeled string field negative key. Then axis dot, or excuse me, ref axis dot m negative key name. Thanks for defending my honor, Funky, again. Key. Let's just kind of break that up a little bit. Okay. Hopefully this will keep things looking nice. And now instead of just looking nice on the screen, it'll look nice in the code too. It means making new things will be much faster. So I'm doing, what, 3 to 4 hours of work today to make new things go faster. So go to edit input. Still hopefully does exactly what it did before. Easy one to check here is change that to E. And if I close that and I hit E, now it's E instead of Q. But it does what it needs to do. Come on. Come on. What's that one? Nice. I need more. I think that's what I need. I've been wondering why, like, people don't want to do a lot of channel point rewards. Like, I see in other streams people kind of do them. And I think I need little silly things. I need, like, things to pop up on the screen. You are, man. Hyper, how's it going? You're here now. Here now. Just doing all kinds of Unity shenanigans. I'm just doing a lot of refactoring is what is the only thing you're missing, so don't worry too much. Alright. Kamal has invoked say hi to my cats. I'll be right back. You guys are gonna see my jam pant. Sitting the nephew. Minecraft. Kitty. Alright, let's change to whole camera here. Boom. So she's whining because I don't normally pick her up and do stuff with her, and she gets a little cranky. But this is Eris. We named her after the goddess of Chaos, I think. Or something like that. Eris. And it's perfect because she's a little nutball. She's kind of insane. Slightly chunky. But, like, not too bad, I guess. She was born in our home. Actually, I guess she was born... I can't remember if she was the one that was born in the car on the way home from, like, the emergency vet because it was taking too long for the mom. Or what? But anyways, like, she has run the gamut of being really bizarre, being really mean to people, being really affectionate. And lately she's like extra neurotic because I think I spend too much time at home and she doesn't quite understand why that's happening now. But anyways, it's taken her a while, but she's pretty affectionate now. Anyway, she was born inside. She wasn't like a stray like a lot of the others are. Probably hear her whining a little bit. You're fine. This one actually will, like, if I get in her face too much, she'll totally smack me right in the face, claws out and everything. She's done it a couple times. So I'm not, like, not too keen to get right in front of her face, but she's actually really affectionate. So I don't know. She's hard to figure out. She's kind of bizarre in a lot of ways. She has tighty whities. You can kind of see between her legs. She's got like this weird white patch. Call her the tighty whities. All right, she's done. That's Eris. She's like 7 or 8 years old. They're all seniors at this point. They're all old farts. Even the black cats that we have, they all have white undercoats. Kind of tend to see that on all of them. I don't remember if I've shown you guys Eris before. I think that might have been the first time. Thanks, Kamal, for redeeming Meet One of My Cats. Alright, let's see what I missed. Yeah, babysitting the nephew. Doing some Minecraft. I'm actually taking a break from Minecraft. I think I got a little burnt out on it already. Can you make the towers rotate to face south when there's no enemy? Yeah, I could totally do that. That's a good idea. Good idea. Alright. I can do that right now. I can take a break from this boring stuff. See how easily I can achieve that. So, update. Current target is null, return instead of that, maybe. Or... I'll do it here, probably. No targets are in range. Yeah, I'll probably do it right here. Oh, okay, nice, nice, nice. That's awesome. I was thinking about this the other day. I think talking with some other teachers and stuff, I'm like, ah, thanks. Thank you. I get the crusty build up and I kind of tend to like, what's the joke? Seeing iCat sees as hard as possible. Like I tend to just sort of stare, like the scaredy cat emote. Thanks for the blink check, Romedy. Good to know you're still hanging around. What was I saying? Yeah, we were talking about like teaching programming and stuff with some other teachers, and it's like one of the things that we like to do is to have you rebuild old games like Space Invaders or something. And it occurs to me that like young people today don't know what Space Invaders is. Like they might know what it is, but they've never played it for sure, probably. And it's like not really the sort of nostalgic classic thing that we think of it as for them. It's just some archaic old thing. So maybe the new thing is like Minecraft. Maybe that's the thing that we should have people build instead, is go and build Minecraft. But obviously that's a lot more complicated. Okay, yeah, you're saying face south. So maybe there's going to be like some serialized thing. Yeah, retro can mean nostalgic. Maybe it does for people once they've reached like their 30s and stuff. But for younger people, I think retro might just mean old and outdated. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. I wonder if the best way to handle this would be... No, because... Yeah, okay, I think what I want to do is probably set the spawn area and have the targets or the turrets look at the spawn area. So it'll just be like this object that they look at when they don't have any targets. I think that'll be the easiest way to handle this. Let's do serialize field private. Actually, since it's another transform that we're going to use here, I like to keep things, I mean, you guys have figured out by now that I like to keep things organized as much as I can. Anyway, private transform. Let's call it incoming target. No, let's rename this to neutral look object. Neutral look target. Naming things is the thing that will take all of my life to master. Okay, so here, if we have finished checking for a target, then we'll say, okay, if there is like a neutral look target, if it's not null, then... One sec. Okay, yeah, I'm using base look object. Base look object dot look at neutral look target. Boom. Easy peasy. That should be a pretty decent approximation at least. Mount. Didn't seem to do it. If everyone in the world heard it when you farted. They didn't know what was happening. Would someone form a religion? I think they would, wouldn't they? Depends. Like, okay, hypothetically here, let's see. Bodily function occurs. People around the world hear it. How long would it take them to figure out, even if they did try to investigate that? Like, what? And now I'm wondering, okay, does it actually sound like a fart? Or does it sound like just like a rumble or something? But even if they did try to figure it out, it would be such a weird occurrence. They would never figure it out, right? So yeah, they'd probably spend like a year or more dealing with it, not knowing what it was, and at that point when science didn't help them figure it out, I'm sure that's probably what would happen. This, okay, check for target. Current target equals closest null. Oh, I didn't actually set the neutral look target. I'm a dummy. So if we go to tower, yeah, okay. I mean, then people would know it's a fart. And then it's like, okay, is it loud? Is it happening just right in their ears? Or does it feel like it's coming from somewhere? Is it directional? If they're to the east of me, would they hear it coming from the west? These are all questions that I have. Here's the problem. Okay. The problem that I have, yeah, is that the towers, when they get spawned, they're not going to be able to access the spawn area. And I'll rename this actually to enemy spawn area. Or spawner. Prefabs can't access things that are already in the world because that is just kind of going against how they work. So I need, or I wonder, maybe they can. I feel like that might be the sort of thing that they've updated. They can't. So I need to actually, instead of using a direct reference to something, I need to like have it looked up by tag or something. I'm gonna have to call this enemy spawner. I'm gonna have to give it a new tag. Just call it enemy spawner. Okay, it's not drowned out by ambient noise. It's such a weird question. I love it though. Yeah, definitely. Oh, cool. I'm glad to hear that, Hyper. If anyone, yeah, I forget. I don't know where I was going with that. Like funky, this hypothetical keeps getting weirder. I kind of like it though. The deaf people thing is gonna especially crack me up. Okay, let's do. I don't know how to handle this neatly. I think it's gonna be kind of messy no matter what I do. But let's see if I can make this a little bit cleaner. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do two fields. I'm gonna say serialize field private. No. Yes? No? Yeah. No. Yeah. No. I'm just gonna do the tag thing. Let's just do string neutral look target tag. And maybe that's just enemy spawner for now. So on awake, say if neutral look target is null, then neutral look target equals game object dot find with tag neutral look target tag dot transform. No. Goes outside the parentheses. Nice. Beginning and now, see, I gotta look that up. And I know I've heard that word before. An organized whole that is perceived as more than the sum of its parts. Gestalt. Okay. Huh. I didn't know that. Yeah. Yeah. What would I do if I suddenly heard flatulence and didn't know where it came from? I'd probably look to someone next to me and be like, can you hear that? And if they said, yes, I can hear that, then I'd look around the house and I'd try to figure out where it might be coming from. Imagine other people would kind of do the same thing, right? Anyway, okay, let's see if this works a little better. Right, it's like maybe not as dramatic, but like giant face that appears in the sky. Rick and Morty. Reference not set to an instance. Okay, I need to. Sorry, let's make this slightly better. Let's do question mark. This little thing is nice. This is the C# feature that's like, if it's null, don't do anything. Right. Right, that would totally happen, you're right. Okay, so plop, plop. So they should be looking toward that sort of invisible box down there. Let's increase range, decrease shots, speed anyway, decrease shot interval. Mount, get them. They're not doing anything. Yeah, I could see that happening for sure. Okay. Transform. Distance is less than distance to goal. We're gonna continue if he's out of range. Something weird's happening here. I feel like this shouldn't be null, but maybe it is. Let's attach debugger. Debugger. Right now, I'm just implementing Funky's suggestion, which is to have the turrets look south if they're not shooting anything. After that, I'll go back to refactoring. Just simplifying logic for sure. So what I want is for range to be really high. I want them to kill everything, and then I want to pause it. Yeah, my ambitions for this project and doing it on stream and everything were like, hey, let's get it done in like an hour and a half and see what we get. And that turned out to be very little because I kept stopping on the way and wanting to like refactor and clean things up. Which I'm just sort of embracing at this point. Okay, so closest is null. Neutral target is also null. Did I not apply the tag? Thought I did. It is. It is, and I think my intention is to go back to doing smaller things, probably. Well, maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of liking the continuity as well, but I don't have any particular attachment to this project, but I did it as a reward for someone who donated. And I'm happy to do that. I also have like a bigger project that I've been thinking about for a couple of years that I kind of maybe want to play with, but I also understand it's like I don't stream a lot, so it would end up being like this super long, drawn-out process if I did it that way. So I don't know if I want to do small things or big things, or maybe a mix, you know. please. What are you doing? Just kill the debugger, can we? Please. Okay, let's check something. Enemy spawner is totally not tagged, so that's our problem. Enemy spawner. Here we go. I also kind of don't do enough side work, so it's probably good for me to do something. That was one of my other reasons for wanting to do this. Kill him dead. Slow down our spawning a little bit, or a lot of it. Okay, cool. They kind of look southish, and if they're on, you know, the extremes on the x-axis, they're looking inward a bit too, which feels pretty natural. So I think this looks pretty good. This is what I was going for. So I think it works. Cool. All right. Yeah, just refactoring now. My goal, to kind of explain further, I don't know if I've said this out loud, but it's been in my head. My goal is to make it so that when I make a new script, I want to be able to just like very easily add a base class like this and have that generate a panel that appears on the side of the screen. And what you're seeing right now, so far these panels have mostly been handwritten, but I want to get to the point where they're more or less automated. And maybe I can just like set an attribute on a variable or something like that. That would make it appear in the panel. That's my goal anyway. And then going beyond that, I want to not only have these panels like auto-generate themselves, but I want them to also generate controls that allow them to send me a report when someone clicks a button. So for example, if I gave this to like Funky or to you, and you created some towers, and you're like, hey, this seems like a really awesome tower setup, like made some changes or whatever, and you wanted to share that with me, then you could just click a button and I would get like an email or something along those lines that like just automatically gets sent to me with whatever the settings are. That's my goal. And I don't know how long it's going to take me to get there, probably at least several weeks. But I kind of want to play with that. And when I can get to that point, that would be pretty cool, and then I could just start to do these things a bit more naturally and not have to stop and just be like, okay, now let's build the debug panel. Let's make sure that all hooks up. And like all that stuff. So I'm trying to get to that point. That's my goal. Yeah, scope creep for sure. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Yeah, when I was a student, for sure, scope creep would happen. And I would get to the point where I was just like, I've spent too long on this project. It's not even interesting to me anymore. And then just abandon it and move on. I think it was when I got sort of like met people that I could just work with, that I would let them do the design and I would just do the technical stuff. And so then scope creep is not an issue because I can sort of do what they ask me to and not really worry about it. But I totally get, like, it's such a thing. It's such a thing that you do if you don't have, if you don't work with people. I think that's maybe the main key, is you gotta have people like keeping you in check and stuff. And having actual deadlines. Having like obligations to meet, because then you understand, okay, I've only got this much time. I can't keep adding stuff to it. So if you set yourself like a hard deadline and try to stick to that deadline, maybe that's the thing that might work for me, I guess. Okay, so getting back to what I was doing. Okay, so I've already got like debug utilities in use here. I've got some pretty cool things going on. Yeah, Minecraft, cheese and crackers, my dudes. Minecraft, I don't know, I've only been into it for like a couple months. But I can already kind of see and understand what you mean by that. Sure, it really depends on your goals though. I've sort of realized over time, I mean, I've spent 9 years as a teacher now, and I realized that my main, like my bigger skill is teaching. Like I'm fine at making games and stuff, but I also don't feel like I need to do it and make it my living, if that makes sense. Like if teaching fell through, I would go work at a studio, but I'm also perfectly happy just doing it as a hobby, basically. In the same way, working by myself makes me totally lazy. I don't have anyone who's going to stop me from being lazy. I will be lazy. Like, I could totally do this as a hobby and be totally happy, which means that I don't have to make money off of it, so I don't really care what people think of it, for the most part. I care for other reasons, like, I want to provide a good entertainment, experience for you guys, for example. I want to be, like, I like to make things as gifts for people, so making a game as a gift is something that I've done. But anyways, I don't want to make money. I don't care about making money. And so with those things out the window, your priorities definitely could change a lot. I don't care about getting this done quickly either. I could work on this for years and be happy, probably. Probably won't, but I could. So it really just depends. If you're trying to make a living, then like everything has to change. You've got to have deadlines. You've got to have like milestones. You've got to get it out the door, or it can stay there forever. You'll never actually profit or get benefits, from it. An unban request. I always forget that these things exist. Unban request. Let me read this in a different window. Actually, I always like to read unban requests. I don't know if you guys have ever had to deal with them, but they're kind of funny. Sorry, you guys are probably hearing echo for some reason. That was weird. I don't know how it got unmuted. Sorry. Now I just need to figure out. Bear with me. Okay, I think I fixed it. Working on it. Okay, so what just happened there was I clicked into mod settings and that opened up an instance of the stream in OBS. And I was like, I don't know how to get out of this because I couldn't remember how to quit mod view in chat. So that's why you're hearing an echo. So, yeah, all right, what'd you guys say? Yeah, if you've got like the drive and you've got something that you want to get out of your brain and to show people, like that's another way to look at it. I have that. It's just not a strong drive, so I think I can sort of ignore it. But then I realize I spent too long ignoring it, and then I start to kind of get worn out on the grind of like the 9 to 5 and that stuff. I appreciate that hyper compliment that you gave me there. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna figure out what this unban thing says, because now I'm really curious and I can't help it. But hopefully that won't cause any further issues, because I'm doing it a different way over here. Ray tracing towers? Sure. I'm not even sure what you mean. Like, ray tracing, I guess, is like a graphics rendering type of thing? Is that what you mean? Bad at things like this. Am I? What am I doing? I should probably just look at this later. I'm just gonna look at it later. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay, I'm wasting too much time. Alright, cool. Moving on. Yeah, that's one thing with Unity. It isn't really super pretty. Or at least, I should put it this way, it's hard to make things look pretty. And I don't know how, so I don't really try. Lifespan, you're not being used. Oh, interesting. I wonder why I never used that. I did, but I didn't actually plug it in. Okay, lifespan goes here. Lifespawn? No. Lifespan, yes. Okay, so this one's already nice and neat, not a problem. I'm just sort of looking through all of my debuggable, panelable things and just making sure that they're as neat as they could possibly be. This one looks like it's just using draw float slider with field, so let's do that. Utility dot. Here, let's copy this. Yeah, right. You put things in Unreal, and it's just like, cool. This is amazing. I never have to touch anything. But not the same with Unity. I mean, it looks okay, but not great. Not like stellar. Dude. Okay. Yeah, right. Probably should. Honestly, Unreal is kind of eclipsing Unity. I don't know. I haven't looked at numbers or anything, but my sense is that more places are starting to use Unreal, or will be using Unreal very soon compared to Unity. Up, down, input dot sensitivity, which is a ref. And I think it's the same. I think it's 1 to 100. Yeah. Is that an int? No, it's a float. Cool, cool, cool. All right, easy, easy, living greasy. Yeah, that's fair. It's true. I don't know. What do you think about blueprints? I think they're cool. I think there's some cool stuff you can do with them, but I'm not gonna prefer them. I think I guess I'm more of a programmer than anything else, so it sort of makes sense that I wouldn't. But everyone has their opinion. Some people love blueprints, and I'm like, I prefer to write code. Okay. Again, same thing. Like, ugh. Really easy thing to just replace here. So debug GUI utility dot draw float slider with field x scale. Yeah, reading it can be really messy. That's true. Ref scale dot x 0.1f and 10. Yeah, I think so too. Oh, and especially if it's not written well, like if it's got all that spaghetti flying around the screen. Ugh. No thanks. Scale. Ref scale dot y 0.1f 10. Like if you think that I'm nitpicky about writing code in actual code, look at how I spend time in blueprints. It's probably gonna drive you crazy because I'm like, must be lined up in the exact same y-axis and stuff, and I'm like, use little reroute nodes like all over the place to make the lines look pretty and stuff. It's crazy. I bet you what I should have done here was make like an actual vector 3 thing, which I'll probably do if I ever have to do this again. It's like no spaghetti for me. I don't want any two lines to overlap ever, unless it's like two nodes that are right next to each other. It can overlap, but if it's anything else, it's probably too much, and I'm like not a happy person. Dang, all right, yeah, that's great. Awesome. Okay, I think I've officially converted all of my existing code to work with debug GUI utility calls as opposed to anything else, which is kind of my goal for what I wanted to do with all of that. Except, I do want to take it a step further. Like I said earlier, right now I still have to manually write out draw GUI. What is this? I feel like I already played that one. Let's switch back to bear with me while I play with music choices here. Let's show the VLC thing again. Go. Now open up rest. 40 minutes or so that we got here. This is a few of my favorite mixes, pretty much of all time. All right. Yeah. So I want to get to a point where I don't have to actually write this function, unless there's something interesting happening with it, I guess. But like, I want to be able to just say, hey, I've got these variables. I want them to be something that shows up in the panel. So auto-generate, and it just takes care of itself. That's what I would like. I'll probably have to do a lot more research to make that happen, so I probably won't even attempt that right now. But I do want to see if I can maybe play with the basic concept of creating that little button like I talked about, of having it like generate a report and send it to me. I think I could sort of maybe work on that in stages and kind of figure out some way to make that work. What would be the right way to do it? Let's see. Let's go check out GUI controller. I think it's the one I want. Close everything. I think I remember why we did this. So I'm getting rid of that to do. Let's add some comments while we're here. Must call this function in order to begin drawing a panel for a particular script. Call this to stop attempting to draw a panel for an object. Use after it is disabled or destroyed. This one is draws all registered drawables in order. Will stop prematurely if any drawable returns false. Or no, true. Okay. So what I could do is just add a little button here. It'd be something like if GUI layout dot button generate report. And this is the thing that I gotta try to figure out is like question mark. Probably 1,000 lines of code go right here. The thing that will probably end up getting used is some sort of HTML request, which I guess I'm gonna also probably need to brush up on that stuff. But I think what might be cool right now would be just generating like a text file or something, just to sort of prove that it's possible. Don't know of any really neat way to do it, except we could go through the drawables and somehow parse out all of the data inside of them. I wonder, okay, let me look something up super quick here. Let's look it up together, shall we? C# serialize object. Or maybe Unity has a version. Maybe I should start there. Unity serialize object, I guess. I think this is an editor only thing, so this is probably not what I want. Yeah, that's an editor thing. Script serialization. When you need to serialize a complex object graph with references, do not let Unity automatically serialize the objects. Okay. I canceled my cable on my home phone this week. I'm excited about that. I haven't been watching TV, like actual TV. Okay, so serialization, the automatic process of transforming data into a format that Unity can store and reconstruct later. I know that. Yes, yes, yes. Simple fields that can be serialized. Yeah, yeah. Sure, it can be serialized. When might it behave unexpectedly? Custom classes that are not derived from Unity engine.object. Unity serializes them inline by value, similar to the way it serializes structs. I did, right? I did mostly because, well, we did actually watch it until we got a smart TV. We got an Android TV. And it's just like, why would you ever watch it if you just have Netflix, like, one click of a button? It's got a Netflix button, and then 2 more clicks to, like, pick something that you want. So that's what I do. So yeah, I'm gonna start saving $100 a month by not having cable. Anyways, serializes structs. That's, I think, what I might be slightly interested in here is, what does it actually do with structs? Or null for classes. No support for polymorphism, optimal use, making editor code hot reloadable. Even if a variable, so fulfill the requirements for serialization, even if a variable has no serialized field attribute, specifically need to prevent private variables from being restored. Interesting. So you can actually explicitly make something non-serialized, which is different from serializing it. There's like a middle ground where it is serialized, you just don't see it. JSON serialization. This could be interesting. Convert Unity objects to and from the JSON format. For example, you can use JSON to interact with web services or easily pack and unpack data to a text-based format. This might be the thing that I want. Okay, so JSON utility. Do JSON. Generate a JSON representation of the public fields of an object. Okay, cool. This could be interesting. So maybe it's something like for each GUI drawable in mDrawables. I guess it would just be, what does it return? Probably a string, right? Yeah. Okay. So then I would be like building out a string. Probably have to see like an example of how you actually do the writing to a file, but no worries. JSON equals null, and then I'll say no, let's not do null, let's do an empty string. And I'll say JSON dot append, and not a thing. Program contains insert, no. Maybe just we're supposed to use plus equals. Plus equals drawable dot. No, it would be JSON utility dot to JSON drawable. Okay, now is the part. Oh, really? Bummer. Is it working now? Sometimes that happens. For C# write to file. I haven't done any file IO from C# in a while. Yeah. Yeah, no, I know it's not going to be a good solution right now. I'm just kind of like, I only have a little time left before I wanted to do a build and stuff. I just kind of wanted to play with it. So right now I'm just looking to print it to a file. Parse as array. Gotcha. You're saying that the problem is going to be this list right here? Okay, so file. Let's see where they're getting file from. Okay, StreamWriter, right? Okay. Gotcha. System.stream, I guess system.io, okay. Auto var. Yeah, I'm with you, Dylan. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna worry about it another time. Oh, doing this in a web build is probably gonna be tricky. I don't know where it's actually gonna try to put it. I'll worry about that later. Report.txt or .json. Okay. So then file.write. Write's a string. Somebody sends contact. Yeah. File.write JSON. I mean, I'm like 100% know that this is probably not going to work. I just kind of want to see what it is right now. Okay, so I know that building has been tricky on stream, so let's take some time now to attempt it. Save everything. I'm going to run one last test here to make sure I didn't totally break anything with that button. I suppose that I could get something kind of cool just from a quick test of it. True. A log is written. That could work. I didn't think about that. Okay, again, I guess I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to give you guys the slightly updated version of this. Which I suppose hasn't really changed much, but I'm going to do it anyway. Alright, let's do a build. So bear with it. At some point during this build process, things are going to slow down. So that's normal. If you haven't been around before, just a word of warning, I guess. There'll be some stream delay after that. Should only be a few seconds, I think. By a few, I mean like 5 to 15 or something. But I'm still here, so just hang tight. I'm not gonna bother trying to like do something else during that process because it just makes it even worse. Anyways, yeah. Console.log is written to debug console. Console.log. Let me look that up. Keep this open. Is that a C# thing? Sharp console.log. No, it's gotta be a Unity thing. Console.log. Or what are you thinking of debug.log? Because if you're saying what I think you're saying, maybe you're suggesting just do a debug.log and then have it write to their log and then have people like turn in the log. Maybe? I guess it could work. One question that I don't have an answer for is Unity. Yeah. Well, a little birdie told me that people have earned a lot of channel points that they're not using, so you just gotta get in there and use them channel points, man. Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, my ultimate goal is to take that a bit further. I don't know if you're here when I said it, but I wanted to like send some sort of web request to actually send me some report. So it's gonna go deeper than this for sure. But I kind of just wanted to play with a basic version of it, I guess. What am I actually looking for? I forgot already. Yes, okay. Unity editor working path. Okay, I guess I kind of already missed the boat. What I should have probably done was have it output the path where it ended up putting stuff. So maybe something like, it's gotta be a file.path, right? How could there not be? It was me, Dio. I don't know anything. Nice. Alright, alright. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing, but now I gotta watch at least an episode. Watch, play, listen to a classic. Alright, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna let you know how it goes. Watch. I don't know when I'll watch it. Probably put it on in the morning sometime this week. Nice. I gotta figure out how to get the animated GIFs to show up on stream. A little floating thing like the other ones do. Alright, what are we waiting for? Yeah, I'm kind of... Let's just check out the whole posture check. Oh man, okay. I'm slouching, aren't I? Okay, alright. Yeah, I'll see. I mean, if it's good, I'll keep watching for sure. Pan equals that. File exists path. File.exists path. File.create text. File open. Okay. File class. Method. Find panel text. Text. Is that somehow different from just write? Yeah, okay. Makes sense. Alright, well, I'm on the hook for it now. C#. Whoops. I guess that's what I should have probably done, was var path equals unity. Well, no. Yeah, unity. No, it's not gonna be unity dot something. Application dot data path, right? Yeah. Okay, so I should have done something like this, and then path plus that. And then I'll say debug.log attempting to write report at path, and then, or no, let's do it this way. Like that. Yeah, I like to watch the ones that are sort of self-contained for sure. I don't want to watch the sort of never-ending cycle that you get with like Bleach, Dragon Ball, that kind of stuff. What's the other one? One Piece. Okay, so this is the kind of thing that I probably should have done because I don't actually know where the thing's going. Huh. Okay, so I think we did lose some frames, but it wasn't as bad. Some 3,000 to 4,000 frames we just lost. That's not too bad, right, guys? Alright, so now I just need to sort of copy this stuff over. This thing in particular, I'm like, I have no idea what this is going to do. Probably nothing. So let's jump over here. I just need to update the build. I think it's just the build part of it that it needs. I don't think I have to update anything else like the templates or whatever. I think it's just these 4 items that I end up needing. So let's go with check here. I think if I drag this over here, to overwrite, yes. Okay, then I will upload all of those things. Change our remote server since your last get or putting the file may overwrite changes to the file. This was 1219. Yes. Alright, in almost no time, we should be able to start seeing the build on barkingotter.com. Let me check it before I do anything else. This guy. We see that little report button. Generate report, then it's successful. Cool. Alright, so that means you guys can come check it out if you want to. Like I said, I have no idea if generate report's going to do a darn thing. But if you want to play around with everything that we've done today, go for it. If you notice any bugs, certainly I would love to hear about them. If you find any really cool combinations. I know that we still haven't really barely scratched the surface on what towers can do, what sort of interesting things we can achieve with that. But yeah, if you come up with anything, true, right? Okay, fair enough. I'll check it out. Don't even worry about it. I've seen a lot of Bleach. But really, like, usually when something's that big, hey, what's up? How you doing, Rumpty? How you doing, man? Long time no see. I am here. I am doing the thing. Check out the game. Check it out if you want. If you're into tower defense, it's not really anything special, but go ahead and check out that link if you want. Aggressive defense. I forgot that we changed the name on it. I can probably fix that super quick. But yeah, go ahead and check it out if you want to. If you see anything cool, if you see any bugs, I would love to hear about them. Where is aggressive defense? Because that's not that I'm naming this anymore. There we go. TD Wars. Company name, default company. The Barking Otter. Let's get rid of the spaces. Alright, cool. So, I got like, what, 10, 15 minutes left, so let's not waste it. I do want to kind of play with that JSON stuff still. So, let's see what happens. Thanks, dude. Alright. If I do generate report. Projects, TD Wars, this. Okay, assets report.json. Okay, so obviously I need to update this a little bit. Let's add a little slashy Rooney here. It has been too long. It has been. What are you up to these days? How are you keeping yourself busy? Yeah, let me try that one more time. Generate report. Alright, tell me to write report at project/td/assets. Okay, cool. I mean, that's, I don't really care where it goes. It's going somewhere. Delete that guy. Okay. I see where it ended up the first time around, too. Let's see. I want to open you up in Notepad++. Set that up super quick. Alright, here's what we got. We got a panel named camera settings, drone enabled, true. I just realized there was like a boolean that I should pass, which was, oh no, that's not what I want. It's this guy. This guy. Pretty print, true. We always want pretty print to be true. Size, defaults, false, yeah, okay. So, let's do that one more time, because I just want to be able to read it a bit more nicely. Working on a tower defense game, which I think you already knew. Alright, pretending to write report. Seems like the report was successful. Let's check it again. Reload. Alright, much better. So, we've got draw when enabled true, don't draw when enabled true, left right sensitivity. Okay, so from this, I mean, like I said, this is like a first pass on this, right? Obviously there's a lot more to do, but I can still get some pretty decent, interesting results from this if people use it. So maybe I'll put another build up a bit later that at least generates this. It crapped out. It gave up. I wonder why. Drop down. Like it stopped here. Huh. That's interesting. Let's try it one more time and see what then. It's stopping. Probably an array. I wonder if this is what Dylan was trying to tell me. Or one of the, you know, obviously an issue is maybe there's like a maximum size to a string. So why don't we do it this way instead? String array JSON equals new string array whose size matches drawables dot count. Then we can actually do this in an index order. So for, or you know, I can just keep it as is. Int I equals 0. JSON sub I equals this. Plus plus I. Okay, and it seems like write can handle an array already. It seems to have that as a possibility. So let's give that a shot. Generate report, open it up. Nothing. Cool. Alright, so maybe that's not quite what I need, but we can fix that pretty easily. So for each string object, I guess. I can't use object. Just say obj in JSON file.write obj. Should be a little better. Because I guess maybe it can accept a reference to an array, but doesn't seem to actually know what to do with it. So we gotta go through and print each item one by one, it looks like. Okay, so we get that. Now what? Camera settings, tower spawn settings, instance IDs. I don't like, there's certain things in here I'm never gonna care about, but I don't really mind that. Interesting. So it seems to still hit some sort of limit here. I'm kind of curious what that limit's all about. So back here. File class. Okay, so I'm not actually using file class. I'm using stream writer. So let's just look up stream writer. Okay, so I can write an object, which means it's probably what I was trying to do. Here we're doing string. Let's just see what this says. String to write the string if no nothing's written. Auto flush is true if the buffer is full, current writer is closed. Auto flush. These are exceptions, okay. Method overwrites, text writer is filling stream unless the end of the stream is reached prematurely. The value is null, no entries are written. Flush is invoked automatically. I didn't call flush, so maybe I have to. Flush, ironically enough, is what you call when you want to write the data, not throw it away. It will throw away the data if you don't flush it. All right, let's see. What we get? What we get? Better. No. I don't think there is a zoom. This is something that I should totally add. Probably make a new script for that, but I'll add a little note to myself to help me remember. Add zoom in / out. Totally gonna do that. Okay, so this report, like I said, not pretty, but functional. And there's a lot of cool stuff that I could get out of this. So if you guys, like, I'll probably put a new build of this up now that I've basically figured out how to do this JSON stuff. I'll tweak it a little bit. I'll say object plus /n. That'll add a little line break because currently things are just kind of getting smushed against each other. I sort of, maybe I don't even care. In fact, maybe I like it without that. Yeah, so anyways, I think that's that. What would it take to do a zoom in and out? I suppose that would be not too complicated. Simple movement. Got left, right input, I've got up, down input, which is X, X, Y, Y. Yeah, we are talking zoom is Z. So maybe I just need to add another thing here. Bing. Forward, back, input. So then I kind of just need to duplicate all this stuff. Forward, back, equals that. New position. Oh, I am using Z, it looks like. Yeah, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. Draw float slider with field, forward, back. I think we can make this work. And then sign off. Yes, 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 yes. And then I go here to input controller. Oops, messed something up here. Yeah. We're gonna add another axis. Call it zoom. I want to say it's mouse wheel or mouse. Maybe it's mouse wheel. Maybe that's it. Just see if that works. Compiler errors. Okay. Forward, back, input, and input. Somehow I totally screwed that up. Oh yeah, deleting towers would be good. Yeah, I think at some point there's going to be an economy that we work into it where you have to save money and stuff. Okay, so let's check one last thing on the interwebs. Unity input, axis, mouse wheel, name. Scroll wheel. Yada yada yada, mouse scroll wheel. This is more directly the thing I want. Axis setup in the input manager, default mouse scroll wheel, include switches to. Okay, people are still saying mouse scroll wheel, so let's try that. In a second, we're gonna see if there's someone we want to raid. I know that you guys are seeing a bit of delay, so mouse scroll wheel is unknown. Okay, so I'm gonna have to mess with that. I guess for now, it'll be E and R. E to go forward, R to go back. Meaning in and out, zooming in and out. Okay, axis named blank, not found. Oh, okay, bigger problem. Grab the camera, put in forward back input, which is zoom. Okay, so it's not actually gonna work. So I'm not gonna put that in a new build because I realize actually the camera is orthographic, I believe. Yeah, and orthographic cameras don't actually show when you move forward and back. It just, you're not gonna see anything because there's no perspective. Anyways, I think that's gonna be pretty much it for today. You guys are awesome for hanging around. Want to thank Loppy Lop and Lunasec for the follow. Also, KiwiBird37, if you happen to watch this, thank you as well for the follow. Thanks Kamal and Kabaddi and Just a Little Funky for the channel point reward redemptions and whatnot. You guys are all pretty much great. I don't know who's online, but let me take a sec to find somebody somewhere somehow that we can maybe go say hi to. You guys any good plans for the rest of the weekend? Next time I see you guys is going to be Monday. I'll do another short stream. I'm going to see if I can stream Final Fantasy Record Keeper, my mobile game again, but I'm going to only do that if I can figure out how to do it a little better. I'm going to see if I can get it streaming onto the PC and like show camera and chat and that kind of stuff, which I wasn't able to do last time. Let's see if Baz is up to anything cool right now. I think those of you guys, no, he's taking a walk.